Just bomb after bomb. It felt like getting going, and both teams kind of that scored first and ran away early. Both teams won that game.
I always like to put it in terms of, well, before the fans have even sat in their seats, this is what happened. Well, before they even got in their seats, the Rangers take advantage of a double error by Astros lefty Framber Valdez and then string a few hits together. The next thing you know, it's 4-0, 5-4 final score. That error, huge difference in the ball game and certainly in that first inning. And then, man, when your leadoff batter hits the very first pitch of a series for a home run, you got to be feeling pretty good about your chance to go to the World Series when something like that happens.
Schwarber, am I saying his name right? Schwarber. He's my first pick on our softball league. Like, if we got a softball team going on, I'm picking him first.
He looks the part, doesn't he?
Oh my goodness,
He's
dude.
always looked the part.
Wow.
He is probably the most. If you just look at him, you're like, wait a minute. What is somebody like this doing as a leadoff?
He doesn't bat
batter?
leadoff. Yeah, right? Like, you would never think that.
Joe Madden started doing that when he was with the Cubs a little bit, and that's what Rob Thompson's got him doing all year long. He's an all-or-nothing guy, gets his walks. But, man, when he's sitting on a first-pitch fastball, I read last night, Zach Gallen, I think, had started all but one of his starts this year with a first-pitch fastball. I think he made 29 starts, 28 of them. The very first pitch of the game was a fastball. So if you do that, and that means that the opponent pretty much knows what you throw in that first game, that first pitch, it better be in the right location. And more often than not, it is for Gallen. He's a Cy Young candidate, but it was not on that first pitch because Schwarber was sitting on it.
How many times, Phil, when you have a bye week at the college level and at the NFL level, you kind of do some self-scouting and kind of go over some of your tendencies that maybe you kind of get away with when you're in the heat of the moment and stuff. And so how many times do you think these pitchers self-scout and go, man, I've been throwing first pitch fastball strikes 28 out of 20. Do you not think the other team knows that? Like,
right.
Do they not go over that a little bit?
Well, and again, a part of it is where you're located. I'm sure he knows very well what he has started those games with. Because I remember watching, one of my favorite Pirates pitchers, Doug Drabeck, back when he won the Cy Young Award in 1990. Every game he started, first pitch was a curveball, and it was always a strike. And I always thought to myself, wait a minute, why are these guys not sitting on it? Well, part of it was always a good pitch, too. It was a well-thrown pitch to the right spot. I think that's what Gallen mostly does. I mean, he's got pretty much pinpoint control, but he didn't on that pitch. And I don't think he did yesterday either for most of the game, 3 home runs.
Right. It was funny because Schwarber hits the scoreboard, and then Bryce Harper hits it over the scoreboard.
Oh, my God. He hit it to the moon, for crying out loud. Did you like his little birthday celebration? There's a couple of things to sit on here.
Yeah.
For one, birthday celebration that he said he came up with while he was going around the bases, that he wasn't even going to blow out the candles until I think he decided around second base. The other aspect is Bryce Harper's 31 years old. Wait a minute here. I mean, he's been playing. I mean, he's been in the game. I think he's been in the major leagues for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time, man.
Coming out of that UNLV area. Wasn't he in that Las Vegas scene?
Yeah, he's from Vegas.
Yeah.
Played at College of Southern Utah.
Gave
up his senior year of high school to go play essentially wooden bat, small college ball, JUCO ball, and then the first overall pick, and he's been as good as advertised. It's so much fun watching Bryce Harper play.
There's some hatred out there for him, though. There's some hate, and if you're successful at anything, you're going to have some hatred. But when I talk to baseball people or talk to fans of sports in general, and they know who Bryce Harper is, it's 50-50. You don't just kind of like Bryce. You either like him or you're like, I don't like him at all.
There was a little bit of a drama with Washington, I think on his way out, and then they win the World Series the first year that they don't have Harper, but there's this love affair with him in Philadelphia. So I think if you're adored by the city of Philadelphia, chances are half the rest of the country despises you. But they love him there.
He's a talent, yeah.
Well, he's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think he embodies that city's sports personality. And the dude listens to their number one sports radio show all day long. So, he is literally into the scene of Philadelphia professional sports outside of his own and outside of the Phillies and everything.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's somebody I can root for.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we heard from Sam Pittman, too. Well, let's see here. 7 minutes in, first mention of the Razorbacks. It's all right. It'll be the overarching topic of conversation throughout the show too.
This is baseball season right here. I know I tell you, Phil, I know you watch baseball all the time, and this is kind of kicking off for you, right? The World Series and stuff, and then you start college baseball. But as far as for me, being a casual viewer, this is the time I watch, man. I love the AL and NLCS and watch the World Series. I'll have it on.
Well, and there have been good games. You know, if the series themselves haven't gone the distance, you've had good games at the very least. I mean, the Braves-Phillies series didn't go the distance, but there were a couple of really memorable games. And so far from what you've seen in the championship series, they've been good, tight ball games. That's one thing I like to see. It's if the Rangers get up 4-0 in the first inning, at least the Astros fought back and made it a tight game. It was pretty much the same thing with the Phillies jumping on the D-backs in the first inning, and it wasn't over just because of that.
I'm in favor of the shot clock. I don't know if what changes they'll make going forward.
The pitch timer?
I'm absolutely love it.
I love it.
Watching the game so much better. I mean, it's just the whole aspect of it, not having mound visit after mound visit and just all these, like, if you're going to make a decision, it's like, you got to kind of know what decision you're going to make. I love it.
Has anybody even had one violation called on them in the postseason yet, whether pitcher or hitter? I don't think so. And that was the thing people worried about. They're like, well, they're never going to get used to this, and there's going to be some sort of situation in October where a game is decided on the pitch timer, and I just don't think that's true. I think by now they're used to it. And I think the players and the pitchers and the managers and the coaches and all of them, I think that not only they're used to it, but I have a sense that they like it too.
Did you see the umpire take one off the dome? I mean, he had his mask on, but just one right there, and you could tell he kind of shook it off and kept on going. But is that often like you think of having a concussion as an umpire back there?
I've known umpires that got a concussion from a foul ball.
Yeah, I mean, it popped him right there. If that face mask, it was tough.
Not all of them were wearing even that half helmet. Sometimes it's just the mask on top of a soft hat. Yeah, that's a little frightening. You see something like that. Now, for the pitch timer, for the Little League game I went to yesterday, I feel like there has to be a timer between innings. You get like 2 minutes.
3 minutes at most.
You get 2 minutes to warm up in a major league game, 2.5 minutes or something like that. These kids, they have 5-minute breaks between half innings. They actually keep track of the time of the game because it's not innings that they keep you to. You play an hour and 45 minutes. So the clock starts, and the kids are warming up, and then you look back up 6 minutes later, and they're still warming up. You're like, wait a minute. You know the thing that happens in Little League Baseball that takes more time away from any. That's not walk-up music. It's not adjusting your batting gloves and everything. It's all the equipment problems with the catcher. How many different times do they have to strap it on a little bit of a different way with the 2 or 3 catchers that are doing it, and the stuff never holds. But you know what? If you're going to play baseball and you're going to be a catcher, you're going to wear equipment. Except that one dad that I saw at batting practice once a couple of months ago was catching batting practice behind the batter, behind home plate, not with a net in front of him, with no mask. And no other stuff on, too. So I figure, if you're doing that, you probably have a really hard head anyway.
Yeah, go stand behind a donkey.
That's exactly right.
Golly.
All right. Halftime today on a Tuesday is a busy one. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, hour number 3. Take a look around the SEC with the king of college football talk. Get his thoughts on what really is a desperate game for Arkansas and Mississippi State. There's a good chance that the team that loses this game does not go to a bowl game. And who knows, maybe you start to see that proverbial rope start to drop a little bit. We'll talk with Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation in hour number 2. And the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, will join us in just a moment. We'll also have plenty of time for calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. We can get your text for right now. Calls once we get to the bottom of the hour. So lock it in at 877-377-6963 and stay with halftime. We're right back after this with the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett.
We took a punch, and we answered back.
He's going to go! Johnson's at midfield, and there he goes! 98 yards. I saw it, but I'm not sure I believe it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
The biggest and best selection of 2023 GMCs are at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Get financing as low as 1.9% with approved credit and $500 in loyalty cash back on 23 GMC Terrain. If you own a 2009 or newer Buick or GMC, conquer with confidence in a 2023 GMC Terrain from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Hey, sports fans, don't let plumbing issues throw you off your game. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric is here to tackle those pesky drain blockages and ensure your water heater is always in MVP form. With Pascal's world-class service, you can count on a winning play every time. Whether it's a quick drain clear or a water heater touchdown, Pascal's got the expertise to keep your home running smoothly. Stay in the game and leave the plumbing to the pros. Schedule your service online anytime at gopascal.com. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Hardee's 2 for $5 mix and match breakfast bake goodness into your morning. Pick any 2 handcrafted favorites for only $5. Choose a made-from-scratch biscuit stacked with sausage and egg, biscuit and gravy, or a country fried steak biscuit. With Hardee's 2 for $5 mix and match breakfast, you get double the breakfast goodness for just $5. Hardee's, goodness in the making. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
If you've lived in the River Valley for a while, you know about the great reputation of Jam Mart. And their newest location at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith is open, but they want to do a big bang for a grand opening. Come by and see us October the 26th from 10 to 2 for discounted gas, drawing for an iPad, product sampling, deli discounts, other giveaways, and special guests. Come see us in Fort Smith, Greenwood, Boonville, Ozark, and Danville. Jam Mart, the leading convenience store and gas station in the region.
The Arklahoma Outdoor Expo is coming to Choctaw Casino and Resort in Pacola, Oklahoma, October 20th through 22nd. Parking and admission are free. Tour over 50 fully staged RVs. And take advantage of special RV Expo pricing on the top RV floor plans. You can also meet the new Napalo pontoon. And don't miss your chance to win an RV as part of the Ultimate RV Giveaway. Learn more at campingworld.com/outdoor expo. See dealer for details and disclaimers.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
What you got is all so sweet. You gotta make it hard.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Tuesday morning means we'll visit with the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, for a couple of segments here on Halftime. Chuck, always good to hear from you, man. Got to be home. Get to be home this weekend. I know everyone's excited about that. Broadcasters, maybe not top of the list, but close to it.
Well, it's nice not to have to travel on Friday, that's for sure. So it's kind of like having an extra day, a little longer week. I'm ready for it, and I'm sure everybody else is too.
I can imagine that in the mindset of the team. We can talk about our travels. Fans can talk about missing being at home games or the travels that they've had. But, as bad as our bodies might feel the Sunday after we get home, those guys are the ones that are feeling it even more so. And, man, when you're banging and you're traveling like that for 4 straight weeks, it takes a toll on you.
It does, and the good news is they're kids and they can bounce back pretty quickly. And I'm sure that they'll be glad to have a home game on Saturday. I think we're going to have a good crowd. From what I understand, they're within, I want to say, maybe a couple of thousand tickets of a sellout. Now, you always have to wonder how many are going to come for an 11 o'clock game, but I think it's been so long that I think people will be there.
Yeah, it's a big game. There's no way around it. The biggest game of the year. Chuck, I was excited. I kind of like some of that up tempo that we kind of implemented. Kind of the first time I remember seeing that this year. What are your thoughts on this Arkansas offense and this offense going forward?
Well, I think they'd probably like to do more of that. You've got to be able to get yards on first down, though, to make it work. That's the thing that they did when they went that route on Saturday. They kind of had Alabama on their heels a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. And it helped them. And it's got to be situational. I don't know that this team right now is good enough to do that all the time, although I think they'd love to. But you got to be able to run the ball. Otherwise, it's hurry up and punt. So you've got to be able to get yards on first down. They did a somewhat better job of that on Saturday, and I thought particularly in the first quarter they did a really good job of it. And then on into the second half, not so much in the second quarter, but the rest of the game they did all right. And if they continue to get better on first down, I'll bet we see more tempo.
Do you think there's and it kind of looked like, and this is just me watching on TV, when we go tempo, that the defense is a little more vanilla, like we kind of know what they're doing a little bit better?
Well, maybe so, because they've not had an opportunity to substitute, and they don't have as much time to disguise looks, that's for sure. So, I think it helps. But, again, you've got to have them on their heels a little bit. So much of it's momentum. And if you've got it going a little bit, that's when you do it, because that's when it's probably going to be its most effective. If you can't do anything against the defense, though, it doesn't make much sense to do that. So, as the offense gets better, and I think it will look better this Saturday. We may very well see more of that. In fact, I'd suspect we would.
Sounds like we know we're not going to see Rocket on Saturday, and then you go into the bye week. Sam Pittman was kind of up front with a question he got yesterday from Trey Biddy about it. That the question was, do you think he's going to play there at all this year? And the answer was, I don't know. So with that said. It doesn't seem like they're leaning on either Rashad Dubinion or A.J. Green any more than the other. I think, just judging from what he said yesterday and when you watch the game against Alabama, they're running Dubinion between the tackles, going with Green a little bit more on the outside. I wonder, though, if they feel like someone's got the hot hand, do you feel you got to kind of stick with them?
I think so. I don't think there's any doubt that you do. You might even find a way to get Augustive in there at some point. Get Dominique a few more carries. You've still got guys back there who can run the ball. And let's just be honest. I mean, the Rocket this year has not been the Rocket a year ago. So frankly, Arkansas is not losing the running back that they had a year ago. And I hate to say it like that, but when you look at the numbers and the results, I mean, it's just the truth. So they've still got guys back there, that they can run the ball with. And I'm sure they're going to try to do that. And from what it sounds like, based on what he said yesterday, I think you're probably right. I don't know that they go in with the design to split the carries, but they're both going to get a lot of work, and I suspect Dominique will too.
What I'm expecting to see on Saturday, and this is independent of, what are they going to do on offense? How are you going to line up on defense? Who's available to play and all of that? These are two desperate teams, really desperate teams. Arkansas, we know, they have lost 5 in a row. Mississippi State, 3-3, but they don't have a win in the league. If you had, Sam Pittman talks about, we still have some of our goals that are attainable. One of them is to make it to the postseason and make it to a bowl game and win a bowl game. In order to do that, well, it's not like this Saturday is a must-win, but it's pretty darn close to it, Chuck.
Well, it's maybe not a mathematically must-win. You could still do it if you don't win, but it's hard to believe that would happen. Sam Pittman was pretty adamant yesterday, and I don't think it's inaccurate at all to say, I mean, it's a must-win game. If there was ever a must-win game, this is it. You got to win Saturday. If you're going to save your season, you got to win Saturday. Period, end of story. And it's hard to imagine the team winning 4 in a row after losing 6 in a row. It's just hard to imagine that happening. Not to say that it wouldn't, but it doesn't happen very often. So if that's your goal, and it is, and that's where you want to be, then it's not hard to figure out. You got to win Saturday.
Chuck, what kind of this Mississippi State offense is obviously different than it was the last few years. What do you expect? What do you think Mississippi State's going to try to do?
I'm not sure because I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. Will Rogers was hurt in their last game before the open date, and I mean, Zach Arnett's guarding the nuclear codes down there right now when he starts talking about whether or not they're going to be available. I mean, he's not saying anything. And by they, I mean Jaquavius Marks. They're very good running back. He was in street clothes by the time their game ended before the open date. And so I'm not sure if those guys are going to play. They are not Mike Leach. This is not a Mike Leach air raid offense. It is different. They do try to be more physical. Not necessarily in what we would think of the old-style Mississippi State teams being, but not quite to the point where they were under Leach. Arnett's a defensive coach, and I'm sure they're going to come in here with the idea that they're going to be tough defensively. They're kind of like, and Phil, you said this, I mean, whoever loses this game is going to be hard for them to make a bowl game. I've not really looked at Mississippi State's schedule, to be honest with you, but I know that, when you lose a game like this and you've still got more work to do. It's hard to imagine that team, playing in the postseason, or at least in, getting beyond 6 for sure. So Arkansas's got its work cut out for them. I mean, their backs are to the wall. There's very little, if any, margin for error, and it starts with winning Saturday.
I wonder how much, Mississippi State just had their bye week. That's kind of a good point right there, and they're getting ready for this second little run. Yeah, Chuck, they go to Auburn, they host Kentucky at A&M, Southern Miss in the Egg Bowl to finish up. This it will be an important game. I mean, it's going to be a grimy type of game.
Well, it generally is with these guys, and I don't think it's going to be. I remember the game where it was in the 50s down at their place when Dak played, and there have been some games where, Mississippi State's put some big points on the board, and we have too. But my suspicion is that, this is – I'm not going to call it a low-scoring game, but I don't think it's going to be a shootout.
Do you think – I was trying to think of this defense and how good this defense has been. Do you think the one thing this defense does struggle against is when the teams throw the ball deep? It seems like, Alabama – we were doing pretty good, and then Alabama hit a couple – over the top. BYU hit LSU, kind of hit us on some over the top. What do you think that is?
Well, they're just getting beat, and sometimes it's confusion, and that's what I thought happened Saturday. You don't, when guys run free like that, there's confusion,
And obviously that happened on those plays. Now, they got it correct in the second half, but clearly what happened in the second quarter was, that was a big part of the ball game. And there are lots of teams out there that can beat you deep. Arkansas is not the only team that gets beat deep if you watch college football. And it's a tough deal because those guys are pretty good. But, yeah, Arkansas was just confused there. They can't give up those plays. They're not going to win the games that they have to win if they continue to do that.
We knew going into that game last weekend that, with Alabama, Milroe has been accurate and deadly with the deep ball, and he's difficult when he runs. I'm not sure what else Alabama can do on a consistent basis. They did have one drive against Arkansas where they just ran it from, I think, their own 5-yard line down to the Arkansas goal line in like 5 or 6
it's like
plays.
4 plays in a row just running the ball, yeah.
But that was the only time that they really imposed their will on the ground, which, of course, is really at Saban's core. But that Alabama team, it's like, well, there's only so many times you're going to score an 80-yard touchdown on 3rd and 14. And I think they're going to be facing 3rd and 14 quite a few more times. It's an interesting offense that they've got. They got a great defense, but I don't know if that's a championship offense.
Well, the one thing they did do was run out the clock Saturday. They kept it for 5 minutes at the end of the game, and that was that. They're going to have a tough chore against Tennessee, and they're going to have other tough games along the way too. They are, because of their loss to Texas, when you talk about getting in the playoff, their margin for error is very, very slim. And if they win the West, they're going to have to play Georgia, and then they would have to beat Georgia to get into the playoffs. So I don't, I'm not sure this is a vintage Alabama team. I certainly wouldn't bet a nickel against them. They're very well coached, and that makes up for a lot of things. But they've still got plenty of work to do as well, and I don't think they're a sure bet against Tennessee.
No, I don't think so at all. I don't know if they'll be a sure bet against some of the better teams in the SEC for the remainder of the season. Right now, Arkansas is a 6.5-point favorite on the BetSaracen app. It's on a Tuesday, and I think that line started at 7.5, so that's pretty interesting. BetSaracen works on any Apple iPhone, any Google Android phone, and online, any web browser, BetSaracen.com. It is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. Anytime you want to make a little wager on your favorite sporting event, do it on BetSaracen. They'll have different odds than Vegas. And the Vegas apps, and all the other national apps, they can't operate within our state. It's BetSaracen.com, and be sure to check out the cool video, How to Play. And stay with us. Chuck Barrett stays with us as well.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
This is Halftime.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Hey, it's James Teague. Over the years playing baseball, I've grown accustomed to closing innings, but now I'm closing cases. With almost 30 years in the business, the Teague Law Firm can help you with all family law matters, including divorce, custody, and child support. We can also help with criminal law such as traffic offenses, DWIs, and more. Call me at the Teague Law Firm at 479-877-1688. That's 479-877-1688. Visit us online at teague-law.com.
Teague Law Firm. If they can't help you, they'll talk football. Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we are rolling out Rath Auto Relief. Now through midnight on Halloween, get up to $1,500 Rath cash when you purchase any one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles. Use it to pay your sales tax, get extra for your trade, or just take it right off the price. Plus, follow us on Facebook for fun-free giveaways every week. Rath Auto Relief, one more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Metal Mart offers high-quality, prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shops, carports, and more. They strive to be the company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials you need to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. With locations in Fort Smith, Mayflower, Jonesboro, and Little Rock, or catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
At AOG, our main goal is to deliver reliable energy to your home safely. And keeping our team members, customers, and community safe starts with awareness. Natural gas has a distinctive, strong odor, often compared to rotten eggs or sulfur. If you smell gas, leave your home immediately. Go to a safe location and call 911 in addition to AOG. Remember, if you smell gas, act fast. And always call 811 before you dig. To learn more about natural gas safety, visit AOGC.com. AOG, energy for life.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You always won every time you placed a bet. You're still damn good. No one's gotten to you yet. Every time they were sure that you caught, you were quicker than they thought. You just turned your back and walked. You always said the cards will never do you wrong. Trick you said was never play the game too long. A gambler's share, the only risk that you would take, the only loss you could forsake, the only bluff you couldn't fake, and you're still the same.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, also with us here on Halftime. We can take calls on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Remember, there are 6 McClarty Daniel locations in Springdale or Bentonville, and always online at McClartyDaniel.com. Chuck, first we'll get a thought on basketball. So the women's poll came out today. Hogs aren't on that. The men's team is ranked 14th in the preseason AP poll, and we're about 3 weeks away from the start of the basketball season. It's a different-looking team than you had last year. A ton of transfers coming in, and you definitely have some experience with you as well. You got Mr. Razorback and Devo Davis, as Matt Jones likes to call him, and should be another exciting basketball season.
Well, I think so. I think people are ready for it. You know, they've done a really good job, must have done a really good job of, assimilating a team, putting guys together, plugging in the parts, and getting them to play well at the right time. I thought they might be ranked a little higher, to be honest with you. They'll have an opportunity to move up in a hurry. It's a top 10 schedule. I know that, and it's going to it's going to provide a lot of stiff competition early in the year. It's not going to take us very long to find out what kind of team this is in relation to some of the others around the country, and I like that. I think by the time that we get to conference play, which won't start until January 6th this year, there's going to be another game in there, another non-conference game before you start conference play, or at least, the preceding weekend there will be, and they will have played a very difficult schedule by the time they get to SEC play.
Chuck, I wanted to ask about Brazil. How healthy is he? Is he going to be back? You think he'll be back by conference play? And do you think it could be anything similar to a Nick Smith deal where, you just never know when he's going to play, or do you expect him to be healthy this year?
Well, what my expectation would be is I don't know. I mean, they're the ones that are around him every day, and they're the ones that, are monitoring his health better than anybody else. I'm sure they'll play him when he's ready to play. I don't know when that's going to be. I don't want to speculate. I have learned the past few years that when it comes to when these guys are going to play, my response is when they're out there.
Right.
Because that's kind of how things are now. But I know this, he wants to play. And he tackled his rehab from the moment the injury happened. So I feel certain we're going to see him. I don't know when.
I'm excited about this team as far as this basketball team, the veteranness that they're going to have. Last year, Phil, I think you had brought this up, how young they were, where this year they're going to be like the third or fourth oldest team in college basketball.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at the teams that were playing at the end of last year, and we went through the numbers last March and April. You look at the teams that were standing. It was the guys with older players. Now, a lot of them were transfers. A lot of them were portal guys, but they were older players. And that's the you've got to have holdovers. You've got to have foundation guys, and we've got those. But you've got to have older guys who've sometimes played in big games in other places. As crazy as that sounds, you want guys who have played in big games at other spots. And when you have a veteran player, lots of times you get that. And I thought that was a real difference for the teams that were left standing at the end last year. I think it's the recipe. Now you've still got to get the right guys. You got to coach them up and all that. But in terms of the template, it seems like that's the template.
Let's take some phone calls here. Got a couple lined up on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Robert in Fort Smith is up first. Hey, Robert, you got the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, here on Halftime. What's going on?
Hey, guys, real quick. Chuck already said it, though, but everyone keeps talking about we did play Alabama close, but that wasn't a vintage Alabama. Milrose was 10 of 21. He can throw the long ball, but that team's not what we're used to. And I'm just hoping that we can get through the season, and then once it's over, we see some linemen that come from other SEC schools and get in the portal, and maybe we get a shot at them, because Alabama's line went from 350 all the way across 325, and I feel like if we get 350, 325 guys in there, we can move people too, and because we've always had good running backs. It's just we don't have the Johnny and Joes. We need some, and I think the portal give it, and the portal take it away. So I'll just see what y'all think.
Robert, I appreciate your phone call. I don't think it was a vintage Alabama offense, Chuck, but I think that defense could have played for a lot of the championship teams that Coach Saban has had there. So maybe not one half the team, but I think the other half looked like Alabama.
None of them were portal guys on the offensive line. Yeah. You don't rebuild your offensive line through the portal. You just don't. That's not Alabama's issue there, and I think Arkansas's issue in terms of the offensive line, I'm not sure you resolve that through the portal the way you do on the defensive line. I'm just not sure that group and the cohesion required lends itself to plugging in a bunch of new parts every year. I could be wrong on that. I've just kind of wondered during the early stages of the portal if that's the one spot where maybe you can't replenish as quickly through the portal as maybe you can like a quarterback, for example. Now, I'm going to say this about the rest of the year. I think it's disrespectful to the players. I think it's disrespectful to the coaches to just write off the remainder of the season. Now, we have the luxury of being disrespectful as fans, if that's what we want to do. But these guys are out there busting it every day. I mean, while we're calling talk shows in the afternoon, judging them, Matt, you know this. I mean, those guys are out there busting it every day, every single one of them. And to just sit here and say, well, you know, I mean, you got the right to not pay attention. That's your business. But I just think there's a disrespectful aspect to it. And I respect what they're doing, and I don't think it's over. I don't think it's over. Now, if they lose Saturday, it's going to be really hard, and I know what's going to happen if they lose Saturday. A lot of the things Robert just said will be fully justified, but I don't think you throw in the towel at this point.
No, I'm always pulling for them. This is the best days of their lives. I mean, it really is. It's a fun time, and hopefully they can get it together. And it's always better when you win. You know, Chuck, we beat Mississippi State, go on a bye week, and come back and beat Florida. Everybody's tune's just going to be totally changed.
Oh, winning takes care of everything. I mean, it makes you feel like everything's possible again. If Arkansas wins this game Saturday, and I know not everybody's going to be this way, but if Arkansas wins this game Saturday, people are going to be figuring out a way for them to get to a bowl game. You know, are they going to send us to Houston if we get to 6? Are we going to go to Memphis? Are we going to end up in Birmingham? The conversation will shift some. Now, look, I'm not sitting here saying that getting to 6-6 and going to one of those bowls should be the end-all, be-all. I don't believe that, and they don't either. But they are where they are. And you've just got to try to find a way to get to a 13th game. And that's going to require winning 4 or 5. And, you know, if you're going to do that, you need to win this week.
Back to the McClarty Daniel hotline, and Jackie in Crossit is now on halftime. Hey, Jackie, what's going on?
Hey, Ron. Hey,
Jackie.
It's quite an honor. Hey, it's quite an honor for me to get on there with these 3 big names. But, hey, Chuck, I told Ty Richardson the other day that I thought you and Tommy Kraft harassed him on the morning rush. Is there anything to that?
Well, if he was ever right, Jackie, we wouldn't have to harass him.
Jackie, he spent 2 years doing halftime with me, and I think I harassed him almost every day. Sometimes people bring it on themselves, although they engender a lot of love from those who might be doing the harassing in that case.
Oh, look, let me be clear on this, Jackie. Ty, I think the world of Ty. I know how hard he works. He's young, just like I was, and that's part of being young.
Jackie, I think Chuck comes down on the side that I learned in baseball clubhouses for years, that if they're not making – when you're talking about the age difference, you know, and the older working with the younger, if they're not making fun of you, then they don't really care about you.
If they're not talking to you, then they stopped caring. That's right.
Well, I want to tell you how our crew is in football, and you know this, Phil. We're going to give each other a hard time to our faces, and we're going to say the nice things to say behind each other's back. And that's just kind of how we do it. That's just kind of how I've always done it and had it done to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's how it operates in sports, Matt. It's the same in a football locker room, isn't it?
My best friends never heard me give them a compliment. That's right.
Exactly. That's exactly right. But when you've said it behind their backs, you've meant it with all your heart.
That's right.
But you're not going to say it to their face.
That's how it works. All right, we'll take one more phone call, and then we got to take the break. Good to hear from you, Jackie. Jesse up next on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Hi, Jesse. What's going on?
Hey guys, I just wanted to share a somewhat humorous story with you guys. My brother and I took our dad to Vegas last weekend, and we wandered over to the Circa that has a huge sports book to watch the game at 9 a.m. Vegas time. And I've never in my life gotten so many woo pig sueys from non-Razorback fans than the guys in the sports book. It was probably a group of like 30 guys were woo pig suing me with all kinds of different jerseys on. And by the end of the game,
we know where their money was.
Spreading a high five. Yeah.
Anyway, they had the Razorbacks in that 20, didn't they? Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Oh, I love it. It's like everybody standing around the craps table just rooting somebody on. That's what you were doing. That's what you were doing there. You were just rooting them on. I love that stuff. Jesse, thanks for the story. Chuck, we got to run. Out of time. Always
all right, guys, enjoyed it. Thanks.
Thanks, Chuck.
All right. Chuck Barrett, voice of the Razorbacks. We'll have him every Tuesday in our first hour on halftime. We don't have a lot of first-hour guests anymore, so, that means it makes it pretty special. Get on the go ahead. Yeah, Matt?
I was going to say, I always like Chuck coming on and bringing his point of view, his perspective. I never know what Chuck's going to say. It's always interesting.
Now, who do you think amongst those on the football broadcast gives the most crap? To those not on the air, only off the air and only in the booth.
Oh, probably Quinn, right?
Quinn or Gino?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Gino. Gino's a delight. Yeah.
Gino Bell, no doubt. Matt Zimmerman's really good at that stuff, too. Rick Schaefer every once in a while. You never quite know.
Kind of slide in there.
Yeah, he might throw one at you every once in a while. You just didn't expect it. You do expect to wrap up hour number 1 of halftime after this quick break.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Every Saturday is
operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
International Olympic Committee released the sports that they are putting into the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, and I guess they choose these sports according to the IOC president because they're in line with the culture, the sports culture of the country that is hosting. So I'll be honest, I never thought cricket was part of the American sports culture, but I guess it is because there's going to be cricket in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. Lacrosse, I think, is part of the American sports culture, the rich American East Coast sports culture specifically, but this is happening in Los Angeles. Baseball is back, softball is back, flag football for the first time, and squash, which is a food that George Carlin wouldn't eat because of the way it sounded.
They should have to play flag football on the beach, though, in the sand. They do.
They've done beach volleyball before. Why not beach flag football?
That's how if they're giving out medals, they need to do it in the sand.
I mean, truthfully,
barefoot, sand. Yeah.
If they're doing flag football, then what about ultimate frisbee? I mean, that's a serious thing. People take that sport very seriously. Disc golf. Why do we not have any disc sports? I mean, you have the discus. You have the discus, right? That's one of the things in track and in Olympic track and field. Disc golf, I'd be up for that. The people that know what they're doing with those things, have you ever seen somebody hit? I don't even know if you call it a hole in one. You ever seen anybody pull one of those off?
I've went and played disc golf before. I attempted a couple times. And I can play frisbee with you if you want to go outside and play frisbee, but I can't. Those dudes can throw it 200 yards. I can't 280, whatever. I couldn't throw it more than 50 yards. Yeah.
And they're not throwing the same kind of frisbee that you and I usually would either. Why not have wouldn't it be fun to have a scavenger hunt across Los Angeles? I mean, that could be an Olympic event. That's also something we love to do in this country. What about capture the flag? I mean, let's just make it camp games while we're doing the Olympics too. It's summertime. It all kind of fits.
Red Rover, Cincy unit on over.
Hey, that should be if you're gonna have a tiebreaker for flag football, I think Red Rover is the game.
Either
right?
that or however they battled in Troy, where they called out Brad Pitt's character, and didn't he invent the Euro step right there? Wasn't that the first Euro step we ever saw?
I don't know if I need to see anybody stabbing anyone else in the neck during the Olympics. So. Yeah, that one movie made the Achilles.
That was the Manu Ginobili because he's the first one doing the Euro step in the league. It's like, oh, there's the Euro step.
Mm-hmm. It was the Pitt step. But I'll tell you what, the flag football thing is going to be interesting. I wonder if NFL players might actually try to get involved.
Tyreek Hill is in Devontae Smith from Philly. Those would be two guys that would be on my team. Tyreek Hill, obviously, he's on record. I mean, this dude he's unreal this year.
What about Matt Jones in flag football? You say you need 2 weeks to get ready for it. What about 5 years?
Yeah, well, 5 years earlier. Yeah, if we had the DeLorean.
Give us a call, give us a text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, getting into hour number 2. McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Alyssa Orange joining us in 15 minutes, and you can do the same right after this.
The biggest and best selection of 2023 and 24 Fords is at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. Harry Robinson has a great selection in stock and over 24 new Fords on the way. F-150s, the all-new Broncos, Mach-E Mustangs, and the super popular Ford Maverick. Plus, get financing as low as 0% on a new Ford. And Harry Robinson has never and will never charge over MSRP. The best selection of new Fords is at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
This is Ty Richardson. When I think of rich history and tradition in Fort Smith, I think of Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria has won the best pizza and bar in Fort Smith the past 25 straight years. So if you want to experience legendary pizza, awesome drinks, and memories for a lifetime, swing by Papa's, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the upper 60s to near 70. Mainly clear sky tonight. And overnight low will drop down to near 45. Wednesday, sunny skies, low 70s. And then Thursday, another sunny day with our high near 70. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Follow us on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine.
Proceed.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on HitThatLine.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. I put my heart up. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
One, two, three. Turn that down,
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back into halftime on a glorious Tuesday. Still, I did not put my heat on overnight, Matt. It got chilly here, and I'm the kind of person, I know what you're like. I get really cold hands in the morning, even in the summer, depending on how high I have the air conditioning on. My fingers get really cold. But when it starts to get cold like this, and once we get into the wintertime, it's like I got freaking ice blocks for fingers. And I'm still not going to turn my heat on. Not yet. I'm going to hold out. If I can make it to the end of the month, I'll be proud of myself.
Get you some mittens.
You want me to sleep with some mittens?
Get you some mittens, and you know, you put lotion in the mittens already, and then you put them in there and put on. Then you just, when you wake up, your hands are all moisturized and everything.
A whole new career for myself moving forward too.
Killing it.
I've got one oven mitt. I have one oven mitt. I used to have two. The second one burnt through, so I threw that one away. Was I using an oven mitt improperly? Is that even possible? maybe sticking it into the fire wasn't how you're supposed to use it. I don't know.
That shower though in the morning when it's cold, that's the way to go. But man, yeah, just a long sleeve shirt, get you a onesie. There you go. You get you a little onesie. Be crushing it.
One of the things I do miss about childhood was the onesie pajamas.
And you could just slide across the floor like Tom Cruise.
That was he wasn't wearing a onesie. He just had a button down shirt, tighty whities, and socks.
But he was sliding. He had the slide going on.
You got to have the socks in order to get that down.
Breakfast Club, we're in their hallway. They got the slide going on too, and then kind of going back. Yeah,
it's not quite a Tokyo Drift. It's more like a teenage slide, I think. Let's look at some of these texts in here because people like to throw in. New Olympic sports, paintball. Could we do paintball?
There you go, team paintball. That would be sick, right there. What teams of 7? What's a good team? Oh man, that would be cool.
I haven't done paintball in probably 25 years, if not longer.
We got to remedy that. We need to go do paintball.
I'm a little frightened as to what can happen because the last time I went paintballing, teenager, went with a bunch of my friends. I guess like 10 of them to this one. Paintball location, which essentially was like a factory that didn't have anything inside of it any longer. And we're having fun, and then these guys showed up, and they were like a battalion, dressed in fatigues, with the eye black and everything. And they basically, they treated us. They treated us like they were a battalion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You were off. You weren't the same tribe as them, huh?
Well, it's like you always wanted to practice getting shot up in a movie. That was my chance to practice.
You were like, was it Sonny and Godfather? At the
it was
at
like
the
the bad
toll
guy
booth?
in Beverly Hills Cop at the very end. Yeah, Victor Maitland. It's exactly what it was. It was either one of those two. Bobby in Mountain Home says wiffle ball. Well, the part of the problem, you can't do wiffle ball because you have baseball and softball.
That's all you need. We got baseball and softball. We're good.
If you have baseball and softball, then wiffle ball doesn't work.
So in soccer, Phil, when you have Olympic soccer, you only get so many players over the age of 25. There's age restrictions. It used to be amateur athletes, all the things, but now they let professionals play. The baseball team, is there anything like that? Where is it your guys? Is it like 25 and under, but you have like 2 guys over the age of 25, or is there's no age restrictions?
I don't think so.
Why is that in soccer? I wonder if that's a FIFA rule or if that's an Olympic rule.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
The thing about how you put a baseball roster together for the Olympics is you don't get any major leaguers, or at least you haven't, because that's
all college kids.
Yeah. It's not college kids; it's minor league players.
Yeah.
It's guys that aren't on 40-man rosters, which means they can't get called up to the big leagues, which tells you how Major League Baseball views the Olympics compared to how they view the Baseball World Cup, because that's all made up of Major League players. But then again, Major League Baseball can control the timing of the World Cup to spring training, and they can't control the timing of the Olympics, which is right there in the middle of the season. But if you look how hockey handles that, right? The Winter Olympics is in the middle of the hockey season. What does the NHL do? They pause. They pause the season.
Once every 4 years, right?
Once every 4 years, let them go play for however long it takes. So I don't know if baseball would do that, even though this is coming back into the States. I'll say if you want to, if Major League Baseball wants the sport to be an Olympic sport, they're going to have to pause. Because the only reason it's an Olympic sport now is because this is in Los Angeles, which means you're not going to get the Olympics in the United States for a long time afterwards, which also probably means there won't be baseball at the Olympics after Los Angeles. So enjoy it while you can. Yeah, BE like the Olympic disc golf. Everybody's coming back with paintball. Cornhole, Brandon in Paris. Cornhole could be a great Olympic sport. But then if you're going to do cornhole as an Olympic sport, chugging beer has to go along with it.
Yeah, you got to have a beer in one hand and your bags in the other hand, right? Like if you're going to play the game the correct way.
Beer bonging as an Olympic sport.
Frank the Tank. Mm-hmm. I'll do one.
Once it hits your lips. Same with Charlie. He's on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hi, Charlie. How are you?
Well, darn, Phil. We were talking about playing games, and you just brought me in like that. I'm kind of pulling me down a little bit here. I was going to say, with cornhole, that's what I was going to bring up. You guys brought that up. I have to be extremely drunk to have a chance to win that game.
I think that's one of the sports, like along with darts. The more you imbibe, the better you get, or at least in your mind, the better you get.
No, that's a fact for the tuna. I mean, you can ask him. That's a fact for the tuna. For whatever reason,
Well, I mean, let's just not. Why don't we just come up with an alcohol Olympics? I mean, we can do trivia because every bar does trivia, and it's the same thing. You know, the more you imbibe, the smarter you think you are. The more you think you know. It's not really like that, Bill.
And you're the specialist when it comes to making the drinks, right? What's your specialty drink?
If we're doing vodka martinis for a trivia contest or for the cornhole thing, you're going to be picking up. You're going to be picking up the competitors, not just the things that they're throwing.
I understand, Matt. I do know something though. I could beat you in, but here's the rule: you are not allowed because me and Phil could hang with you. Phil, I'm throwing you in here too.
Cornhole. You know who you want? Ty Richardson. No, you want Ty Richardson on your cornhole team. You don't want me.
No, it ain't even gonna be cornhole. I'm talking about just playing a game of horse. Matt, I know I could beat you. The only problem is you are not allowed to dunk. That's the rule because me and Phil cannot dunk on a 10-foot goal. So I don't, and Phil's not Spud Webb, and I'm only 6 foot.
I have a feeling, Charlie, that Matt could beat us left-handed, even if it was just horse and he couldn't dunk. I don't believe in my ability to hit these shots.
I do. I believe in mine. I used to. That's my thing. Trick shots. I used to practice those. That was my thing. But anyway, I was gonna say, guys, I was watching the game last night. Matt, did you see that play where the punt play where the Cowboys they got the fumble on or whatever?
Man,
did the Chargers player? Go ahead.
I was going to say, man, I watched both the baseball games. I actually forgot that the football game was on.
Can I just take a moment and say here, I'm so proud.
I
just want to walk away and say
I
had a little bit to do.
I ended up watching the baseball. It was the playoffs, and then it was like, do I want to watch it? I was kind of interested in Kellen Moore, that offense at San Diego, being what was going to happen and how Dallas is going to play. What do you think of the game?
Man, I was impressed by the win, to be honest with you, considering that we just got clobbered by San Fran last week. And to go up there again, I just thought they played a much cleaner game. They had 14 penalties, and that's been an issue under McCarthy. And I wanted to bring that up, too, with Sam. They're at, like, the top of the SEC since he's been at Arkansas with penalties. And I want to know, guys, I mean, is that – because, Matt, you were on teams that back in that day with Houston Nutt, I'm sure he would probably pull you out or something. But nowadays, I guess it's hard because you pull a guy out of a game, he might get in the portal. I mean, I don't know what the deal is with these kids, but we would run and gut and run until we puked for some of this stuff.
I think part of that is a lot of the penalties have focused in on the offensive line, right? And I don't think they have the kind of depth where you can pull somebody out if they're getting beaten or having trouble with the snap count. I just don't. It's different. I think on the offensive line. For me, that's where most of the penalties have sort of centered around. Anything pre-snap's usually going to come to that. You can pull a receiver out of a game. You can pull a running back out of the game. I think they've got backups that they trust in that case. I don't think the same about the offensive line.
I know the coaches don't like to see the same mistake over and over and over again. Once you're coached up, once they tell you what to do, once you figured it out, you got to quit making the same mistakes. And I thought they did kind of figure it out after it. Would they go 5 straight 3-and-outs in that middle part of the game against Bama, and then they look good. I think they're going to continue that over this week. I really do. It seemed like maybe that was the moment where something clicked for them. And I look for big things for him this week against Mississippi State.
It would be nice to be able to change that conversation. And, man, you're right, though. I mean, a lot of this is who you go up against. They had success against LSU. They did. They had some success in the second half against Alabama, running the football, we didn't see that against A&M. Not many teams have run against A&M. Even when Alabama beat them, they didn't run the ball successfully. The Ole Miss game, I hope, is an outlier because this is still an offense that got to run the ball to be successful. And I think you got a chance this weekend. But Mississippi State, Opponents are averaging 3.7 yards per carry.
They're going to play defense. They're going to be tough. That's what I remember about them last year, Phil. They're going to take their identity of their coach. They were a tough defensive team last year.
Yeah, Mississippi State might be 10th in the league in rush defense, but as far as rush yards per carry, they're pretty good. Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation next.
Deep three on the way, and it's good. Outlet to Devo. It is over. Down goes Auburn. The number one team in the country is defeated, and they are rushing the court at Bud Walton Arena. They are rushing.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
that sweet smell in the air. We were trembling together. We were young, we were scared, yeah. True love, hard to find. I can smell those orange blossoms. I can see us standing here. When I smell those orange blossoms, then I'm there.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Time to talk with Alyssa Orange, Pig Trail Nation, every Tuesday right about now on Halftime. Alyssa, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm just kind of relaxing. Went and had lunch with Ben at school and taking it easy today.
Well, that's good. What's lunch today? Is it applesauce, peanut butter and jelly, chicken nuggets? What kid food are we eating?
Yeah, I think Saul packed his lunch this morning. It was a Uncrustables, some Funyuns, which are Finn's favorite chip, a yogurt, a Fig Newton, and a Capri Sun.
Peanut butter jelly and Funyuns always goes together. That's the meal to
Let's
make anybody
start
happy.
the day with an A right there, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, the Funyun craze is pretty funny. I don't know. I mean, I like Funyuns, but he is obsessed.
I didn't realize that there was a big Funyun craze going on. But my kids look at them like they're aliens. I'll eat them anytime they come around.
Just a bunch of vowels.
Yeah.
Alyssa showed up in the radio booth during the Alabama game, and it was interesting how this worked out. Arkansas really had trouble moving the ball until she showed up in the radio booth, and then they start coming back. We're looking back at Alyssa like you can't go. I don't care what you've got to do. If you got a live hit, you got to do. If you've got notes, you got to keep until we decide otherwise. You stay where you are. Next thing I knew, sometime in the fourth quarter, you left the radio booth, and that's pretty much where the comeback ended, Alyssa. So this one's obviously on you.
Totally on me. Well, it was a timeout, and I just ran to get my phone because I was in charge of just tweeting what was happening from the Pig Trail account, and I was like, I haven't said anything about this because I'm not allowed to leave. So I ran, I got my phone, and I came back, but then once Alabama got another first down, I was just going to run the clock out. That's when I left. So if you want to put it on me, I understand.
Well, I'm not really doing that. JT all of a sudden texts in. It's like, yeah, are you superstitious? No, I'm not. Just having fun with Alyssa.
It was fun though. It felt like I was contributing.
Yeah, maybe you were. But then so you lose the game anyway. There are takeaways from that game, and what it sets up here is a game against Mississippi State where you really have a couple of incredibly desperate teams that are looking for their first wins in the SEC, and it's like we talked with Chuck earlier, Alyssa. I think you can put must win in front of this game, can't you?
I really think you do because again, you got to find 4 wins out of these last 5 to get bowl eligible, and they're not easy ones. And I don't want to write off Mississippi State because I think if you look at just the way Arkansas and Mississippi State have played each other outside of that 2019 game when Chad Morris was here, it's always been close. Or Mississippi State has always gotten the best of Arkansas, so you can never really write them off as a win. But they've just got to get back on track, and I hope being back home is a good way to do that. But if you don't win to Mississippi State, I just don't see that you can win out the last 4 games. When you go to Florida, Missouri is a team that has had your number for quite some time now. It's going to be even tougher for Arkansas to turn things around if they don't win this weekend.
Alyssa, we got your connection sounds spotty, so I'm going to have Christian call you back, and ought to be a little bit better coming around there. You never know sometimes with these cell phone signals. Every once in a while it sounds bad at the start of the call, and then the next thing you know it's fine, but it was like hearing every other second of that she was saying, pretty much.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's what it came down to in
me
that
now?
sense. So that's pretty much what it came down to. That's one of the things about our technology now. It's not always going to work. Not always, just
we got
kind
it.
of sort
We're
of
good.
most of the time. All right, Alyssa, I think that hopefully the connection's a little bit better now because we were having a little trouble understanding what you were saying. We got most of it. We got the gist. And that sounds like Alyssa Orange.
There
Okay.
Hey,
All right, good. I don't know. I had my AirPods on talking about technology. I thought that was going to help me, but clearly not. I feel like when I use my phone, my face accidentally hangs up on you guys. So I was trying my AirPods, but that didn't work either.
It's funny how that works. Like last week, Matt, you remember this? Aaron Torres texted me and said, I'd lost my AirPods, so I'm going to have to do it on the phone. And it was the first time we talked to Aaron in months that it didn't sound like he was putting the dishes away.
Less background noise, for
That's
sure.
exactly right. Much less background. It's funny how this works. The
That's
AirPods
crazy.
make it worse. Yep.
I thought I was making it better, but that's good to know that I wasn't.
Alyssa, I kind of like some of that up tempo. It was kind of like, it wasn't really necessarily a no huddle, but it was kind of a hurry up, and that we implemented a little bit against Bama. And after those 5 3-and-outs, it seemed like KJ kind of put the team on his shoulders, started making plays with his legs, started making plays with his arms. How do you see this offense moving forward? Do you think maybe they found something that they like going forward against Mississippi State?
You would hope so, because I think that's what KJ is comfortable doing, because it's what he's done the past couple of years when Kendall Briles was here. And I understand that Dan Enos isn't going to go up-tempo. He's much more of a slower-paced offense than that, but then you do go up-tempo, and it just felt like KJ was comfortable with that kind of rhythm. And he is kind of a guy that, you just let him go. And it's almost like if you stop, look at the play, look back, stop, he almost like loses his momentum. And so if they can kind of keep that going, I think that could be beneficial for them these next 5 games for sure.
Can't get stuck in your ways on how you expect an offense to run. If you see something that's working, you got to go in that
Be able to
direction.
adapt,
I mean,
right.
you really have to go in that direction here. So, like, I would, I'm always interested in what's happening at the start of the game, but I kind of hope that offensively they come out the way they did in the second half. And like Chuck said in the first segment, Alyssa, and I think he's right about this, in order to generate tempo offensively, you've got to have positive yardage on first down. Now, that's one aspect they've had trouble with, so that might be, one reason why tempo's been a little tough to establish if you've been thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when you put yourself behind the sticks, I mean, Sam talked about it too, that it limits what you're calling in your playbook, and you're just trying to, you've now got just a 1 down less to try to get 10 yards. So I'm hoping that they've kind of found something that works for them, and so that way they can utilize what they have offensively and some of those tools that they have offensively. And I was just really good. It was really good to see them play and finish the way they did against Alabama as we move forward, because I think even though they didn't win, one thing DJ and I were talking about in our pregame show was if we just see a glimpse of fight and a glimpse of improvement. No, you're not going to beat Alabama per se, but it just sends a message to the rest of the season that these guys haven't checked out yet.
I also need, and I do not expect to see blowouts for the remainder of the season. And really, you haven't seen any yet. Even the A&M game, which is probably the only game you walked away from and thought, yeah, they just kind of got whipped in that game. That was still a 12-point ball game. I think you're going to see close games. So, you wonder, so what makes the difference between a loss to LSU by 3 points and potentially a win over Florida or Mississippi State or Auburn or Missouri by 3 points? Because so many of the games that they've played in the last more than calendar year now, and man, I mean, it's got to be close to 50%, if not more, of the games that Coach Pittman has been here at Arkansas as the head coach, it's been decided by a score or less. Got to find a way to win those games because they're going the other direction these days.
I heard that stat. Tom Luganville was on the SEC Network last week, and I was watching it as I was getting ready for the game on Saturday. And he had said that Arkansas, Sam Pittman has been in 19, and now make it 20 games that were one-possession games, and he's won 5 of them. And I just think that kind of says, what is it going to take to get over that hump? And I asked Coach that after the game of, what's it going to take? And, I know that that's a hard question to answer, but at some point you've just got to realize that you just need something to go your way one more time to get over that hump and win these ball games that you could have won and you lost by 7 points or less. So they just have to, I think consistency is the big thing. That's something that both of the guys we talked to after the game talked about, was just staying consistent, staying focused. The offense played really well against LSU, but then in the second half, it was the defense that gave up a score every single time LSU had the ball, and so there was an inconsistency there. If they can just stay and play a full 60 minutes, I think that might be your difference. But again, that's such a hard question to answer because I don't think that there is a tangible answer to it except for go out, execute, and have things go your way once or twice.
Alyssa, I do got to ask you about your Florida State Seminoles. They are hosting the Duke Blue Devils. Does Duke have a chance now? Now Duke lost their quarterback. Is that right? So how are you feeling going into this game?
Yeah, I feel good, but how funny is it that, we're saying, well, we're about to see what this team, is made of as they get ready to play Duke. Didn't think I'd ever say that sentence when I'm talking about a football game.
You've said that in February before, but not just not in October.
Just not in October, exactly. So, I think that this team is playing really well. I was reading up. I know that Jordan Travis had a little bit of a hand injury against Syracuse, but Mike Norvell positive about him coming back, saying Johnny Wilson is pretty good. So I think, again, if Florida State can stay consistent, just play their game. Again, Riley Leonard is not playing, so that's a bonus for FSU. And, I'm just kind of living in the moment with them, trying not to get too high or too low. Kind of like my Dolphins. I'm just living in the moment.
Yeah,
you got the best receiver on the planet right now, in Tyreek Hill. I mean, just get him the ball and get out of the way.
You might even have the MVP in the league right now with Tua.
Man,
yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch, and I enjoy it. And they got Jalen Waddle and Rashad Mostert, and your guy Matt. I hate to see Devin Achane go out. He was doing so well. Yeah. But hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later. And they're saying Jalen Ramsey might make a comeback sooner than they thought, so that would be cool too.
He'll be back. Alyssa, I want to get your thoughts on this Penn State-Ohio State matchup. I think last week with Washington beating Oregon, they're probably in the top 4 right now. You think clearly if Penn State, Ohio State, the winner, they kind of control their own destiny, the winner of this game this Saturday?
I think they definitely have the opportunity to. It's really tough to count out Michigan in the way that Michigan is playing. But I like Penn State. I think that Ohio State has some weaknesses. And I always think that that's the case. Like Ohio State has a way that you can exploit what they do. They just always find ways to win. It's almost the opposite of what Arkansas is doing right now. Ohio State's just always found ways to win. But I really like James Franklin as a head coach. And for Penn State to get that win over Ohio State would really set them up as another undefeated to take seriously. And then you look ahead to the Michigan matchup and just, what kind of falls there in the Big Ten. But it'll be an exciting game. I mean, I was glued to the TV for that Washington-Oregon game. I don't know if you guys know this, but Saul's cousins went to UW. My sister and my brother-in-law got their masters at UW. They still live in Seattle. So we were pulling for the Huskies on Saturday for sure.
You're amazing, Alyssa. I mean, you've got connections at all 4 corners of the country practically. I mean, we talk about the Dodgers in Los Angeles, the Dolphins in Miami. I mean, you go as far as we're going up the East Coast to Richmond, and then there's Seattle. I mean, why don't you have anybody in Maine?
It's too cold. It's too cold up there. Past Maryland, I don't have any connection.
Hey, help me out with something, and we'll close on this. It's like Monty Python said, too. Now for something completely different. We were getting in earlier about in sports and in sports radio, if they're not making fun of you, if they're not giving you a hard time, then they just don't think about you very much. They don't like you, or you just, don't make an impact on them. It's like you want to be made fun of in sports. Is TV the same thing? Because TV's a whole different animal, a much different animal.
I don't know. You guys have so much more freedom with the length of your shows and whatnot to have some fun and talk about opinions more than we do. I think, obviously if we're talking about you, you're doing something, either really right or really wrong. I remember with Saul and his radio days, it was like they wanted the team, it was much better to talk about a team that was doing really, really well or really, really bad. If they were kind of in the middle, there wasn't much to talk about. Callers, weren't as upset, but you could get really polarizing sides of like pluses and minuses if they're doing really good or if they're playing really bad. So we don't have the time to get into the weeds like that, maybe in our 30-minute show, but I think it's a little different. We're just trying to give you 3 minutes of, hey, here's what's going on, this is what's being said, thanks and good night.
All right. Well, I just wondered because I'd never quite heard it before. We appreciate you very much, Alyssa. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'll do it again next week.
All right, guys, next week. See ya.
Thank you, Alyssa.
It's Alyssa Orange with Pig Trail Nation joining us every Tuesday here on Halftime. You just never
all
know.
over the map, just bringing it wherever. What do you want to talk about? I got you. Yeah. What do you want?
She'll give you an informed opinion.
I like
it,
it
as long as she doesn't have her AirPods in. Now, I'm somebody, when I go do interviews, when I'm asked to do interviews, I'll do them on my AirPods, but maybe I should stop.
It's going to be interesting to see if two big teams. I know you've kind of said that earlier this year, Phil. If two Big Ten teams make the Final Four, because I think with Washington beating Oregon, they have to be up there. Florida State's still up there. Well, if they don't get beat,
and Oregon still may end up getting another crack at Washington too. I mean, it's Championship Saturday. Once we get to it, it may be a little more interesting than usual, and it usually is interesting. Halftime back after this.
I know the last 3 years people have got accustomed to paying sticker price for a brand new vehicle. Well, it's not that way anymore at Red River Ram. If you're looking for a Ram truck, we've got heavy-duty four-wheel drive trucks starting at $49,500 or up to $12,000 off sticker price for a Cummins diesel. And we've got $11,000 off Ram 1500 Bighorn four-wheel drive trucks. If you want the best selection and the best buying experience, make that beautiful drive right here to Heber Springs. Now during Ram Power Days.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is Halftime.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear. After all, it's good to start early so they don't have problems in the future. We've got options for training, cross-country, gym class, and more. Our well-trained staff can guide your student athlete through our personalized fit process to help find that True Grit fit. And for our cross-country kids, we offer a 10% discount off of your total purchase. Visit our store in Fort Smith, located behind Chick-fil-A.
Feeling blindsided by your spouse asking for a divorce? Wondering if it's going to be a scrimmage or a BCS-level custody battle? Don't step into the courtroom without Mock Legal Solutions' offensive line protecting your weak side. Mock Legal Solutions offers low flat fees and payment plan options, so there's no moving the goalpost on your bill. Call an audible and contact Mock Legal Solutions today at 479-769-1505 or visit our website, mocklegalsolutions.com. Real advice, reasonable price.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has been serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma since 1964. That's over 50 years of commercial and residential services from their 2 locations on Zero Street in Fort Smith. Arkansas Glass and Mirror offers custom-cut tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and plate glass. Whether commercial entry doors or home glass projects, remember Arkansas Glass and Mirror. Online at arkansasglassandmirror.com or give them a call, 646-4300.
At A&P Auto Sales, we take pride in the way we do business. We focus 100% on our customers and believe car buying should be a fun, hassle-free experience. We will work with your budget and offer a dependable car at a price you can afford. Bank financing is available with approved credit or cash is always accepted. Hop on over to 1202 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren and choose from a wide selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Contact us today at 353-1246 or check us out online at apautosales.net. Find your next car at A&P Auto Sales in Van Buren.
Today is
the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Jason Hill in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Polo Balloon Fest, October 20th and 21st. Oklahoma's longest running balloon festival. Tethered balloon rides and balloon glows each night. Petting zoo for the kids. Monster truck and helicopter rides. Bull riding and so much more. Polo Balloon Fest. Polo Balloon Fest, October 20th and 21st. Oklahoma's longest running balloon festival. Tethered balloon rides and balloon glows each night. Petting zoo for the kids. Monster truck and helicopter rides. Bull riding and so much more. Polo Balloon Fest.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Shivers in your fever, scream me again. Never kisses, or do you ever send a full stop? Do you know where the waffles go? They go along to take your honey. Way down how we build our breakfast down and say my love, love, love. La 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 la, muscle to muscle, toe to toe. The fear is grip me, but here I go. My heart sings as I jump up. Your eye grips and that my heart is shutting
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Let's see, you got some guys texting in from the Arkansas baseball scrimmage, part of the fall series, which concludes today with a winner takes all, because yesterday was a suspended game at the end of 7 innings with a 9-9 score. Looked like a little bit sloppy, a lot of errors, but that'll happen, I think. A bunch of guys playing out of position. Man, we get people texting us, they're bragging. They're bragging right now, Matt. The great Jason in Fayetteville texted a photo from the first base seats behind the dugout, third base seats, behind the dugout, about 10 or 11 rows. There's a couple wispy clouds in the sky. There's a few dozen people in the stands, and I'm told somebody is in my radio booth.
Is Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift there? Did they make the journey? You saw. I told you they'd be at a game. You saw they were at the baseball game yesterday. They had the Kelce brothers up there. They're everywhere.
I can't divulge who's in the booth.
I think it's Tay-Tay.
Well, somebody's in there. It's not me. It's not me. It's not Bubba. At least I don't think it is. Whoever's in there, please clean Bubba's side of the booth. Pretty please. It's pretty gross. Pretty gross. So you watched a bunch of baseball yesterday, Matt. I count this as an accomplishment. Maybe you would have done that 2 years ago. But if I got somebody who's a former NFL player who decided yesterday to watch both baseball playoff
both games,
every pitch, and just sort of give a cursory glance to the Monday Night Football game, I win.
You're contagious. That's very right. The baseball fever was real, and it was here. And Phil, there's something about greatness and competition at its highest form that I really enjoy. These are two. 4 teams really that are just. This is the pinnacle. There was this crazy stat. This just tells you how much I love it. Evan Longoria. Right? 2008 was the last time he was in a World Series, and the dude's playing, making plays. Now, I don't think Arizona's going to win, but how crazy, kind of like that Dan Marino thing. He's like, man, we'll be back there. We'll be back. You never know. And that's just how heightened it is, man. It's amazing theater.
It really is. It's like a lot of fun. And part of the theater, too, where there's the react, especially when you have first innings like you had in both games yesterday, where the visitor had the big lead in the American League game. And before the Astros fans even sit down, heck, they might have been in line for a beer and a hot dog, and then they sit down and they see not only are they down 2 or 3 to nothing, but the pitcher made a double error. And it's like, whoa, it just gets quieter and quieter. I was listening a little bit. It was quiet. I was listening to the Rangers broadcast. It was quiet in Houston. And then to balance that against the first pitch in the National League game in Philadelphia goes for a home run, and then they hit 2 more in the game. It's the total opposite. I mean, they're going crazy there in Philadelphia, and that off that first pitch alone.
Your boy Castellanos. You know, I'm digging him.
Somebody asked him about he's a trip. He's a trip. Somebody asked him about. I don't know if I think he may have tied a record by Reggie Jackson for a number of home runs in one single postseason. And he's like, yeah, I don't care about that. I just want 7 more wins.
Wasn't he the 44 caliber killer, right? Exactly. He's not worried about that.
No, Castellanos I don't think he's worried about anything. Even the things he says into a microphone, he doesn't care. What do you got on your boy Brandon Marsh?
Brandon Marsh. Now he's got the haircut going. He'll never be Charlie Blackmon.
That's not a haircut.
That's for sure. He definitely, maybe he you think he surfs? He goes and catches big waves maybe down in Australia in the off season.
I don't know. I'd be a little worried that if I'm surfing that my feet would get tied up with my own hair if it's that long.
Well, that's like Aquaman, right? Or do you think he's more like in a Matthews or a Voigt going out there and bow hunting, like you know how Bo Jackson is amazing bow.
And in this case, I mean, he doesn't even need the bow. I mean, he can just shoot an arrow out of his own hair, Matt. That thing his hair is disgusting. I mean, with a beard is one thing. Do whatever you want with your beard. And I'm not anybody to tell you what to do with your hair because I don't have enough to do anything with it other than take it off or make fun of it. But the guy's got like 4-foot hair. And it's not, I don't know to put it in these terms, but it's not pretty. It looks like it's just black spaghetti strands just kind of hanging down. It looks like a Raggedy Ann. The beard is one thing. I can get with the beard. The hair, I don't know. It's like you refer to it as a haircut. I don't think he's seen a pair of scissors in years.
He's just spraying it with water, just liquid ice back there, and just gel and water.
I think he's washing it with vegetable oil.
You got to wash your hair though. The whole thing about if your hair you're out there sweating and then you can't actually wash it afterwards. That you got to wash it or you got to go sit over there. I mean, it's like you can't. Ugh.
Here I am. I'm on the opposite end of things here. You know, I don't have enough hair to even. You know, I can't tie 2 of these strands in a knot. I can barely even pull one of them out. So maybe I'm just envious that he has hair that he can make a decision about. Brandon in Paris mentioned the real portion of the American League game that, you know, so you get your big first inning. Nathan Eovaldi, and he's been dominant at times in the postseason. He was not dominant yesterday. You see him get out of bases loaded, nobody out. With a couple of strikeouts, he gets Altuve, he gets Bregman.
I thought the floodgates were going to happen there. That's for sure.
For me, that's where Houston lost the game.
If
you don't get anything on bases loaded, no outs, chances are you, especially when you're trailing, you're not going to win. That was the game-winning inning.
How good is Zach Wheeler? Because what I've seen in him, he started off really well again. Then he gave up a couple runs late, and they pulled him. But I mean, that dude, he can deal for a little bit.
Yeah, you know, that to me
he's got a funky, it's not necessarily overhand, it's almost a side. It's not necessarily side either, but it seems like it's a funky release, like he slings it almost.
Well, and you can see the way he throws. I mean, that he's got hit the ride on his fastball, that 4-seamer that he throws that just looks like it stays up there.
This looks like it rises up.
Yeah, that's like the perfect high fastball that you'll get your share of strikeouts on. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely doing the part of the ace in the postseason. 5 earned runs, 19 innings, just 12 base runners, and 26 strikeouts. That's ace stuff.
26. That's the thing, man. He's just striking them out. Yeah.
You got Aaron Nola in that rotation too. He can be dominant. This is part of what makes the Phillies who they are.
Yeah, he goes tonight, I believe. There's you get game tonight, which I'll have it on again.
Well, I'll have it on again, too. There's nothing else to go again. I guess there might be some Conference USA action, though, tonight, Matt, because it's Tuesday in October.
Does Arizona looks like the team that not that they're happy to be here, but when I go through the lineups, and maybe they got a couple better pitchers, but when I see them bat and I see them how they go about it, they don't seem like they got the athlete that Philadelphia has.
No, I don't think they do.
Yeah.
They also don't have the record of guys who've had postseason success like Philadelphia does, and a lot of that success is last year. And there are, you want to this one thing I do like how YouTube does this. You get your 4-game quad and college football Saturdays, but when there's baseball and football on, you can put both of them up side by side and then choose. You get 3 Conference USA football, 2 Conference USA, 1 Sun Belt.
You get USA Soccer versus Ghana.
Big old Tuesday, isn't it? Back after this.
The biggest and best selection of 2023 and 24 Fords is at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. Harry Robinson has a great selection in stock and over 24 new Fords on the way. F-150s, the all-new Broncos, Mach-E Mustangs, and the super popular Ford Maverick. Plus, get financing as low as 0% on a new Ford. And Harry Robinson has never and will never charge over MSRP. The best selection of new Fords is at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leaf-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
A ringing phone is either an opportunity or an issue, and both need immediate attention. But why pull yourself away from your core business for a phone call that AFS Business Solutions can handle for you? Utilizing services such as virtual receptionist, absentee lines, order processing, and even traditional answering service, AFS Business Solutions can handle your business calls for you 24 hours a day. Locally owned and operated, they take care of your calls so you can take care of your business. AFS Business Solutions, online at afsbs.com or at 800-264-1100.
What's on your to-do list today? Does it include looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? If so, come by and see us at Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer. Whatever your day brings, whatever job it is you need to complete, Wacker Newson Equipment is up to the task, and Sharp Equipment is here to help. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Finally, football season. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is your #1 place to watch Arkansas and Monday Night Football. At Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, during the Hog games, you'll get $2 domestics plus their famous Hogzilla pizza. During Monday Night Football, $5 refillable beer cups for only $2 refills. Prizes for each score and at the end of every single quarter. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, you'll get the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
October is Pastor Appreciation Month, and what better way to celebrate your pastor than to shop at the Solid Rock? During the month of October, the NIV Men's Devotional Bible is on sale for $39.97. And when you spend $50 or more, you will receive a $5 gift card for your next purchase. Solid Rock also offers custom laser engraving on select gifts and Bibles for a great personalized gift. The Solid Rock, located next to Sam's Club on South 74th and Fort Smith. The Solid Rock, serving the River Valley for over 48 years.
Don't miss Hog Reaction this fall, presented by Teague Law Firm and Signature Bank. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hey, you know, a week from today, you're going to have a pretty interesting and unique event happening during the grand opening of Armor Bank new location in Rogers. Matt Jones and I will be there for a live edition of Halftime. This is at 1100 South 52nd Street in Rogers next Tuesday. That's October 24th from 11 to 2. Armor Bank with a grand opening. And KJ Jefferson will be there with us, and he is going to be coming on the show. This is confirmed. We will have KJ on the show next Tuesday at noon, and that's all he's going for. It's not going to be a big autograph session or anything like that. He is coming to do the radio segment with Matt and me, and then he's leaving. So this will be an interesting event, because the last time we were at Armor Bank grand opening, it was in Hot Springs, and they had a line that stretched, I think, to the next county for autographs, and Matt signed a ton, KJ signed a ton, and we didn't get a chance to talk with him. So this will be interesting, especially during the bye week too, Matt.
Well, we know KJ's a busy man. It'd be it's pretty cool, right? Like,
absolutely.
To share some of his time with us. How cool is that?
Very much. Yeah. So this is at the new location for Armor Bank in Rogers. Again, that's at 1100 South 52nd Street next Tuesday, October 24th, from 11 to 2. And I think later in the week we've got another on location deal at Crabtree RV. So. Doesn't matter if it's a bye week or not, Matt. We're out
twice.
We're
next
getting
week.
out and about. Yeah.
Okay.
Crabtree RV on Friday next week too. So bye week for football, not necessarily for us. I noticed that the NCAA president Charlie Baker and some other folks, Notre Dame athletics director Jack Swarbrick, the Big Ten commissioner, some NCAA athletes and those who also are part of NIL collectives are in Washington today speaking with the Senate, or members of the Senate, about some of the reforms that they've been trying to get passed through Congress. And they're focusing a little bit on the employment status for athletes. Now, it's not like they've gotten literally zero momentum off of all of the public push and the publicity coming from media days. You remember that's what it felt like. Greg Sankey's whole message at media days was really just trying to communicate to the United States Congress that there needed to be overarching NIL laws coming from the federal government. But they haven't moved that, and they might be talking to the Senate. You might want to, if you want to try to talk to a member of the House, they've got another thing that they got to figure out first, because they can't vote on anything until they figure out who the leader is going to be. And I don't know if they've voted in a leader or not. So it may end up just coming down, Matt. It's going to be the NCAA that's going to have to write these guidelines or bylaws or whatever. And look, that's the way that you really would like it done. It's just it felt like the NCAA had punted that responsibility. I'm not sure if they're going to now, because I don't think Congress has a ball to kick.
Well, it's a mess, and if not, it'll do till the mess gets here.
877-377-6963. Calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline, McClartyDaniel.com. If you want to see all of their inventory online. We will be talking with Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio in about 20 minutes. So an open segment is coming up. Get with us or don't, and just keep listening, and we're back after this.
Style that stands out with the 23 Buick Encore GX at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get special offers and financing as low as 1.9% on the 23 Buick Encore GX. Save $1,250 in special discount if you own a 09 or newer non-GM vehicle. Plus, get 1.9% financing. The 23 Buick Encore features crisp body line, streamlined stance, and dynamic styling. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey sports fans, don't let plumbing issues throw you off your game. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric is here to tackle those pesky drain blockages and ensure your water heater is always in MVP form. With Pascal's world-class service, you can count on a winning play every time. Whether it's a quick drain clear or a water heater touchdown, Pascal's got the expertise to keep your home running smoothly. Stay in the game and leave the plumbing to the pros. Schedule your service online anytime at gopascal.com. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
I'd like to talk to you about sandwiches for just a second, specifically the Schlotzsky's Original, the sandwich that since 1971 has been an American favorite. I'd like to talk about the Original's one-of-a-kind, made-from-scratch every morning, spongy, soft sourdough bun. I'd like to talk about the Original's thick stack of select meats, hearty cheeses, crisp veggies, and signature sauce. Why do I want to talk about the Original? Mostly because I'm hungry, and the Schlotzsky's Original is the most delicious sandwich I could think of. Visit one of 5 Schlotzsky's locations in Northwest Arkansas and Fort Smith for the mouth-watering Original. Plus, they cater. Stop in today.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep West Ark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
West Ark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the upper 60s to near 70. Mainly clear sky tonight. And overnight low will drop down to near 45. Wednesday, sunny skies, low 70s. And then Thursday, another sunny day with our high near 70. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. I put my heart up. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
One, two, three. Turn that down,
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And getting into our third hour halftime, ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson here, Matt Jones, C-Unit, Kristen Johnston producing, and Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio in about 15 minutes, going around the country for some of the big games. Big game here in Arkansas, Hogs and Mississippi State. It'll be another game without Rocket Sanders. Makes it 2 games in a row. And he's only played in 3 games this year. A little bit against Western Carolina, A&M, Ole Miss. Starting to feel like a lost season for the preseason All-American. And you do wonder, like the question was asked yesterday from of Sam Pittman, Trey Biddy from Hog Sports asked the question, and he was just direct about it. Do you think Rocket will play again? There was no definitive answer. So I don't know what to expect as far as that's concerned, but it has certainly not been the kind of year that anybody was hoping for Raheem Sanders. See here, looking at his numbers, 34 carries, just 105 yards, 2.7 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. That's really shocking to see production like that. But he's never been healthy. We haven't seen Rocket at 100% since maybe a portion of the first quarter of game 1. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's man, you hate to see that for a player of his caliber. You hate to see that for any body up there. The thing with Rocket, and you gotta, I guess as fans, you got to understand these kids now. They're professional athletes. This is how he's going to make a living. This is how he's going to provide for his family. Or with this opportunity, now there's other avenues he can go to. You're getting to get a degree, and you can get a job. You're an Arkansas Razorback. All these things, but to play football at the highest level, he is capable of doing that. His thing will be, how healthy are you? What are your intangibles? The running back position's so weird right now. I mean, Chan, whatever his name was, who I thought was the best running back in the draft, went in the 3rd round last year. And you had Bijan Jackson, you had the other guy that from Alabama, the Texas Alabama running backs that went as well. But they're kind of a different style of running back. And so, but that being said, it doesn't matter if Rocket plays another snap for the Arkansas Razorback. It's going to do nothing for his draft status at all. Like, no matter if he comes back and plays or if he doesn't play another snap, he has enough film out there. He has to be healthy, go to the combine, do your measurables, and how healthy are you? That's all that matters for him.
It's not a matter of you got to show us you're healthy during the season. If he
all.
Goes into the draft and you go into the combine, you got to show you're healthy there.
That's it. All those doctors that go look at him, they know the kid's a talent. What's he going to run? How is he when he's picking? How is he in the film room picking up blocks? How is he understanding the offense? That running back's such an interchangeable position. He has the talent to do it. It's the health, and you're seeing this all over. I mean, it's what Christian McCaffrey's doing out there in San Francisco, and I think he got banged up last week. It's just that it's the nature of that position. You never know. You're rolling the dice every single game. I think more than any other player out there, any other position as far as a quarterback, receiver, defensive guy, whatever. Running backs roll the dice more each week.
Well, and look at how the dice was rolled by Saquon Barkley and by Jonathan Taylor with their public holdouts,
and Le'Veon Bell a few years ago. It's wild on the frontier.
Well, and with Bell, I mean, he gave up a season to not just to make that point, but to make the money he made the next year with the Jets. He just wasn't the same running back, and he didn't have the same kind of offensive line in front of him. I mean, that's the thing about running backs is that sometimes. A lot of what you do depends upon the guys that are up in front of you,
right,
and the rest of your offense as well.
And those are trained killers on the other side, man. These D-backs and linebackers are trained assassins, and all they're looking for is one little shimmy, one little hole right in there, and man, they're going to knock you out. I mean, they're coming in there with lethal intent to come up there and tackle. It's a collision sport at that next level.
But there are those vibes that you got from the basketball season with Nick Smith. I mean, there are some similarities here. Smith you knew coming in it was a one and done, and it's like coming into this season that this is Rocket's last year at Arkansas. But you have the 2 years previously to have a sense of what he can do in college. But with Nick, there was the knee injury that occurred on the European tour, and so he begins the season on the bench, and there was that whole. Will he or won't he play, or when is it going to happen? And then you get into January, you've seen him a little bit. It wasn't quite what you thought, and he goes all out west to Los Angeles to visit a specialist, and we wonder, is that his specialist? Is it an Arkansas specialist? If he's going to L.A., it's not an Arkansas specialist. And Sam said, a little bit of the same thing for Rocket this past week is that he went to visit a specialist. I don't remember where it was, but I don't think it was Arkansas or in the state. And so, you do wonder a little bit about where who's in the ear, who's in the athlete's ear in that case. With Nick Smith, there was that feeling you got the coaches on one side and you have his set of advisors on the other. And I wonder if there might be a bit of the same situation going on with Rocket. But I will say this, if going into, you got a bye week, you didn't play the week before. If you're not where you think you need to be as an athlete, as a running back at that position, is it okay to to sit, to not play that week, go into the bye week, continue to recover, rehab the way you need to rehab, and then maybe be ready for a 5-game stretch starting with Florida? Is part of this also about rehabbing properly so that you're as close to 100% as you can get once the season resumes? Or is it just about the future after the season concludes for whatever's next for him?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of factors that go into it, but I think the fact that we're struggling to get to 6 wins. I mean, I say struggling. We're struggling to get to 3 wins, but with the potential to get to 6 wins. Where I think if we had won 6 already, and we're seeing this in a different light, then maybe he's back a little. Maybe that knee feels a little better. You don't know. I mean, that's just all. The truth of the matter is, his people, him. If he doesn't feel right, then you got to try to get healthy. That's what you got to do first.
Yeah, I mean, the athlete has to feel ready, right? I mean, an athlete knows his or her body better than anybody else.
And something's not right. Rocket he's looked a step slow, and he had a couple bursts in the A&M game. It seemed like on that screen pass, but going, it could be something with the offensive line. It could be something with his knee, and hopefully that he can get that healthy, because I really think he can make a living playing football on Sundays if he's healthy.
Let's take a call on the McClarty Daniel hotline, and then we'll go to Bill King in Nashville Sports Radio after the break. Brian. Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Great, thank you.
Good deal. Hey, I wanted to ask, y'all are talking about the running backs at Arkansas, and I think they're okay running backs, but, they're not. You got to admit, the running backs at University of Texas are the real deal. I mean, we put 2 in the NFL last year. Jonathan Brooks from Texas is leading the country. We got a 5-star, 2 4-star sitting and waiting, and we got 5-star committed for next year. So my question behind all that is, when you look at Rocket Sanders, I mean, he knows, as we all know, that the offensive line is weak. He's already been hurt once. Do you believe, he has basically just kind of said, well, this was a fun year, I'm done, waiting for the NFL? Why would he want to risk another injury playing behind that offensive line?
I mean, it's a legitimate question if you want to try to get in an athle's head.
As a competitor,
maybe that's something he's thinking about.
As a competitor, you want to play. Mm-hmm. I know I did, and you don't want to let your teammates down. That's 100%. You're out there playing as a competitor. Of course, you want to go out there and play. I think he's probably a little banged up. I just don't think he feels right.
I mean, he started the season with a knee injury on the first quarter.
Ended the season with a knee injury.
Right.
We forget in the not the Independence Bowl, but the bowl game last year against Kansas, he have 1 carry, injured his knee, and then the very first thing he's done this year is injured. I think it could be a little psychological as well.
Well, I think the psychological aspect of it is legit, because one of his other teammates in that same room has had double knee surgery. Think of
Dominique Johnson.
Think of Dominique Johnson. I mean, he's had surgery on the same injury on the same knee twice, and he also is injured in a bowl game. So I mean, this is. I think that legitimately is something that could be in his mind, because it's right there, perfect example for him. Somebody that is carrying the ball just a little bit this year, and when he was a freshman, he looked like he might have been a number 1 kind of a guy at Arkansas. Brian, also in Fayetteville, asked about if Rocket can redshirt this year, and he can. If he were to not play, he's only played 3 games. If he's done the rest of the season, he could redshirt. I'd just be surprised if that would be the direction you go.
Well,
but
you're going to make the same amount of money being a 5th round draft pick, or if he went out and ran a 4.3, he'd get drafted a little higher. How healthy are you? You got to see what you're getting, about $500,000 to be running back in an SEC squad. So what are you going to be making at the next level, being an undrafted free agent, or what round are you going to go in?
Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio joins us next on Halftime. Stay with us.
We'd like our program to reflect our state, the great.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Tuesday, hour number 3 means we get to talk with Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio. Hosts 6 to 9 Monday through Friday on WNSR, the king of college football talk. And a lot of our listeners really enjoy your visits here, Bill. How you doing today?
Hey, guys. Doing well.
Good, good. So Arkansas, Alabama, watching that game, what did you glean about both teams?
Alabama is very gettable, very human. I don't think this Alabama team beats any Alabama team Nick Saban has had, except for the first year, 2007, when he took over for the big mess that Mike Shula made. From 2008 to now, this team right here wouldn't beat any of them, including the 3-loss 2010 team that was probably his biggest knucklehead team. He just couldn't get to them. They're very human, very beatable. Now, again, guys, they may go 11-1. I don't think they will, but they're capable with the schedule they have left. They got Tennessee at home. They're favored by about 10 there. There's not a big talent disparity between those two. But, you know, Arkansas had their chances, but you don't get any points for close calls, and you got to figure out a way to win these kind of games when you're coming back.
Well, who do you think has the best chance to take Alabama down? I thought about Tennessee.
Oh, easily LSU.
Well,
LSU,
that's who I thought.
If they're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alabama's going to have trouble with Jake Daniels and those receivers. Now, let me say this. This Alabama defense is improved from a year ago on every level. They're better. They're sticky. They're solid. They're fundamental. But their offense is light years from where they need it, and that's not getting fixed this season. You don't get that fixed in Week 8, guys. Week 8, you are what you are.
Well, and that being said, it looks like Arkansas is going to be without their All-American running back for the foreseeable future, and he's been kind of out the whole year. But that being said, going up against this Mississippi State team at home, can the Hogs get their first conference win this week?
Absolutely. I think they will. I think they should. They're the better team, and Mississippi State's been decent at times this year. I've watched them on and off throughout this season, but no, this is a very winnable game. Let me also say this. If Arkansas loses this game, I don't want to make too much out of one game, but it's a horrible signal, if so. No reason to lose this ball game.
It's very true. I mean, I haven't even thought of it that way. I think we've kind of been going over it like the Hogs are going to show up and do what they have to do and protect home field and get a victory.
Agreed. I'd be shocked if that's not what happens. I think they'll play well.
Bill, you were high on Washington a few weeks ago. I asked you your top 4. Do you think Michael Penix, is he the favorite right now in the clubhouse to win the Heisman? And what did you think of that game? That was 2 good teams.
Fantastic ball game. Lived up to the ranking, lived up to how they'd been playing, lived up to the quarterbacks, lived up to the wide receivers. Fantastic. I would say, yes, if we stopped it today and voted, he'd probably win it. I don't think anybody's playing any better than Jaden Daniels, but they've got a couple of losses, and the voters don't like that. But, yeah, I think if we had to go today, he'd be the winner.
We've made fun a little bit of the idea of doing away with divisions, but, you know, in the last year of the Pac-12, they don't have divisions, and there's a very good chance to see a rematch between those two teams. I mean, to me, that's the reason why you did away with divisions moving forward in the Big Ten, to maybe see Ohio State and Michigan play against each other for a second time for the conference championship, not just for the division championship. Do you like that idea? And do you also expect that you'll see Oregon versus Washington again, because they do look like the 2 clear-cut best teams in that league?
Texas and Oklahoma, of course, it's been one division there.
Yep.
But, yeah, that's probably what we're going to see, a repeat of that game. Oregon and Washington right now would be the overwhelming favorite. Southern Cal still, Lincoln Riley still refuses to field a defense. And until that's the case, I don't think we have to take them seriously as a big-time playoff threat. Now, with 12 teams next year, maybe so. Caleb Williams will be gone, but they have Malachi Nelson, who's a 5-star quarterback sitting there waiting to play. But Lincoln Riley, at both of his stops to date, has not played a lick of defense. Apparently, that's not on the agenda.
Bill, you know I'm a James Franklin fan. You got the big one this weekend. You kind of break it down for me. Who do you think wins this Penn State at Ohio State matchup this Saturday?
Very winnable game for Penn State. I don't necessarily think they'll pull it out, but a very winnable game. Now, Ohio State, let's look over. Jim Knowles has been there over a year now to fix that defense, and I think they've gotten better. Remember, they weren't playing too well on defense there for a stretch last couple of years. They're better on that side of the ball. They're not better on the offensive side of the ball. You can't be. Can't be as good as you were. The other problem Ohio State has is their best backs, Travion Henderson, the Williams kid, Igbuka at receiver, those guys are very questionable. And that is a good receiving core. Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably playing at about 75%. They've got a fantastic tight end in Cade Stover, who will probably have a big game. James Franklin's road record, ranked team record is not good, unfortunately. But on paper, it's a very winnable game for the Knights.
So Brock Bowers undergoes surgery for a badly sprained ankle. It's the kind of surgery that says he'll be back in 4 to 6 weeks. I guess you usually take the long look on these kind of things. So there's a chance he doesn't play for the remainder of the regular season. How does this affect Georgia's offense? I would assume it has a pretty deep and profound effect.
He's going to get, or he had tightrope surgery, and 4 to 6 weeks. The thing about that is, let's just say he does get back for the postseason. That doesn't mean he's back to where he was. It just means he's back. That's hard. Cedric Tillman had that for Tennessee, and he came back after about 4 or 5 weeks, went a week, and then had to sit 2 more weeks out. You don't know what you're getting there. In the perfect Pollyanna world, he's back and playing that well. That's very unlikely as far as his performance level. Let me also say this, guys. There's not a team that's a national championship-type threat that could lose a bigger player than that. You can't. There's not a bigger player that your roster can ill afford to lose than Brock Bowers. Now, they've got dudes, but, guys, think about it. Back in May, let's say, when we're looking at Georgia's schedule, maybe at Auburn, maybe the Tennessee game, but probably not. They're 12-0. Now look at their schedule. Florida and Jacksonville, I don't think is a gimme right now. Georgia's clearly better. They still have to play Missouri at home. They get Tennessee in Knoxville. They still have to play Ole Miss. That's not as easy as we thought, right? They've got some bumpy territory to absorb to get through this thing. Now, they should win all those games, but you're losing the best playmaking tight end that I've seen in modern history in college football. You just can't replace him.
Yeah, I made the joke earlier today that he could be starting for the Dallas Cowboys if they need a little tight end help. But I think he's gonna have a lot of fun on Sundays. That's for sure. Does Alabama, are they still worried about the orange tee? Now Texas came in and beat them. Can Tennessee go into Tuscaloosa and give Bama a conference loss?
Yes, but I don't think they do, because they won't play the best quarterback. They're playing Joe Milton, who's, I think, the worst quarterback in the SEC that started. And they've got a superstar All-American over there sitting that I think would be impactful immediately, and they won't play him. You got to remember, the only reason Hendon Hooker got on the field was because Joe Milton got hurt. Yeah. They determined Milton was a starter. Now, guys, what they saw in practice, I've got no idea. And I also want to say Josh Heupel's done a really good job there, but what he's doing at quarterback makes no sense. Milton cannot locate the ball at all at times, and he has no situational awareness. In the last game against A&M, it was 3rd and about 8. Play breaks down. He rolls out. He's got clear sailing to get past the chains. He runs out 2 yards short. He has zero situational awareness. Guys, 2 years ago in the Ole Miss game, Hendon Hooker got hurt. He went in last series. Tennessee's on about the 10-yard line to win it. Last play of the game, doesn't chuck it up in the end zone. He runs out of bounds. I've never seen anything like it.
Tell me about what's going on in South Carolina here. Defensively, you got to ride, you got to catch there, Bill. Joke.
It's a drug bust. They got me, guy. I'm trying to get away from it. I'm walking away from it. It's not helping.
Oh, it's tough to get away from sirens. It always is, no matter what. South Carolina struggling a little bit here. 41 points allowed to Florida. And it's not like that Florida offense has been a lighted up kind of an offense. What's going on with South Carolina's defense? Because the last 3 years seem to have gotten worse each season.
They don't feel the defense. They must be watching Southern Cal film. They don't. Now they have significant personnel shortcomings. They're not really good anywhere on defense. They're up 9 late, fourth quarter against Florida. Can't hang on. Can't close that game out. Their offensive line isn't very good. Now, their offense is pretty good. They're good at receiver. The quarterback's been pretty good. Spencer Rattler is pretty good at running back, but they just can't stop anybody. I like Shane. I've known him a long time. I do not think ultimately 2-3 years down the road he survives.
Their receiver Liggett, he's going to play on Sundays. That dude's the real deal. No, yeah.
They have brought in lots of good receivers. The kid that's down there at Florida State, not Keon Coleman, but the other one, that was a big-time player they got from a small school. He's from the DMV area, though. They've had lots of dudes at wide receiver. The starting running back at Southern Cal is a transfer from South Carolina. So Marshawn Lloyd, who's also a Washington, D.C. area kid, and left South Carolina. South Carolina had a kind of a uprising a year ago because everybody hated the offensive coordinator, so they ran him off. But a bunch of kids transferred because of it.
Bill, what do we have on Mizzou in South Carolina? Mizzou looks like, who knows? They look really good right now. They've only played 3 conference games.
Right.
The only loss coming in that shootout against LSU. But we kind of think of Mizzou sometimes, and I don't think they are this year. Ball control, just kind of run it. We saw that a couple of years ago, and they didn't have much of a quarterback-receiver combination, but they have that this year with Brady Cook and Luther Burden. And, Burden didn't even really do much this last week, and they still took care of Kentucky fairly easily.
It's a good ball club. The last 2 years, remember 2 years and beyond, they were terrible on defense. Literally horrible. They've mended that. They're solid on that side of the ball. They'll hit you, too. And they have weaponry. Brady Cook, I think, has played. He's certainly a top 5, top 4 type quarterback in the league, the way he's been playing. Burden is a nightmare. You cannot possibly contain him. He's a speed green grass nightmare. And I think it's going to get pointsy. South Carolina's going to get their points. I just don't think it's enough to win that ball game.
Does Eli have that program where if they have the kind of season that it looks like they may be on track for, that potentially could stabilize there? Because we people joke about Missouri and be like, well, they do have a couple of East Division championships, and they've been a good SEC team, not a great program. They haven't been a bad program, but they've been good. Do you think Eli's got them where they could kind of stay at this level for a little bit after the fourth season?
To be determined, but it's possible. Wow. Got to remember, this last year they adopted an in-state rule about name, image, likeness, saying that high school kids, when they sign in-state, could get paid immediately. So if you sign in December and you're not going to be there till June, you start getting paid then. That's an advantage. They also have another rule they adopted which says nobody can come investigate them. That's state law. NCAA cannot come in there. You're not welcome here. And I think it's making an impression. There's a 5-star receiver in the St. Louis area that is looking hard at them that they may end up getting. And they weren't getting that kind of kid before. It's possible. It's possible. Now, this year's their first good year in a while, right? So we need to see the follow-through, but it is doable.
Bill, appreciate you, man. We'll leave it there. Have a great week.
Okay.
We'll visit again Tuesday.
Yep. Thank you, Bill.
Yep. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, every Tuesday here on Halftime. Hey, Crabtree RV Center invites you to Stop over for their Celebrate Autumn sale. Big fall sale happening October 26th through the 29th at Crabtree RV in Alma. They'll have special sale pricing on every single unit. Check out East to West trailers. They'll start as low as $198 a month with approved credit. Crabtree RV also has a 2022 Palomino truck camper. Price is reduced with everything you need to take your fall trip. Also going to have door prizes during the sale, so bring the kids out to Crabtree RV October 29th for the community trunk or treat with candy, games, bounce houses, and more. It's Crabtree RV Center's fall sale October 26th through the 29th. More info at crabtreerv.com. Stay with Halftime. Right back.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. So minivans, sedans, JDMs, roll out. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. And with eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is Halftime.
The biggest and best selection of 2023 GMCs are at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Get financing as low as 1.9% with approved credit and $500 in loyalty cash back on 23 GMC Terrain. If you own a 2009 or newer Buick or GMC, conquer with confidence in a 2023 GMC Terrain from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Hey, sports fans, don't let plumbing issues throw you off your game. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric is here to tackle those pesky drain blockages and ensure your water heater is always in MVP form. With Pascal's world-class service, you can count on a winning play every time. Whether it's a quick drain clear or a water heater touchdown, Pascal's got the expertise to keep your home running smoothly. Stay in the game and leave the plumbing to the pros. Schedule your service online anytime at gopascal.com. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric.
Supply issues are no issue at Shamrock Roofing and Construction. As one of America's largest roofing companies, we stocked up early and we stocked up big. We can do your job right now. And because we paid less for our material, we can share those savings with you. Call today or visit us at shamrockroofer.com. Attention homeowners, storms are firing up quickly and widespread damage means thousands are reaching out for the right roofing company. Don't wait. Get on the schedule with Shamrock Roofing and Construction now for quality and peace of mind. One call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Call 479-319-5100.
Feeling blindsided by your spouse asking for a divorce? Wondering if it's going to be a scrimmage or a BCS-level custody battle? Don't step into the courtroom without Mock Legal Solutions' offensive line protecting your weak side. Mock Legal Solutions offers low flat fees and payment plan options, so there's no moving the goalpost on your bill. Call an audible and contact Mock Legal Solutions today at 479-769-1505 or visit our website, mocklegalsolutions.com. Real advice, reasonable price.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
times. I'm just with my friends online, and there's things we'd like to change. Next thing you'll find you're reading back yourself on a plane of fame. What a shame. Oh, well, just keep licking, 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 licking. And love me.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Ninja Push Split RT Tight Closer 22. Jab 72 Duo Z-Slick. Wolf Dollar Fold, Turbo Dragon, Flank Sledge, Crush 2/3 Jet, Racky Y-Wrap, G-Buzzer Fly, Mid-Flex Open. Bunch of things I'm looking right here on Mike McCarthy's play card. Matt, apparently had got more airtime than Taylor Swift does on NFL telecast yesterday.
Yep, sounded like some formations, some motion, some routes, some checks, maybe an alert there. Sounded like you had. Now you got to decipher that. I get yeah, that's definitely NFL playbook right
Trips Peel Nasty. Does that sound familiar to you there? Laser Radar Indy.
We had a little radar play. We had an Indy. We had an Indy in you play against the Colts, you might have an alert there. You have an Indy that was a screen play.
Ooh, here's a good one. Quattro H Boomerang. I like that one. That's my favorite so far.
That's probably a play that would be a last-minute play where they're trying to, you're going to be in quads and you're probably throwing the ball around where, it's the end of half play or end of game play where you're trying to flick it back a little bit.
Strike past RTZ Poker.
Yeah, there you go. That's he's got an option. He's got two ways he can go. You're probably reading single high or double high safety, and based on that, what you're going to do.
Wacky Fly, Beefer RT. This kind of sounds like really it sounds like names of callers on talk shows that don't let you use your regular name. Wolf Dollar Fold. That sounds like a caller, wouldn't it? Oh, look, there's a Brian in Ozark on his sheet here too. Wow, maybe he's listening to our show. I thought it's funny too because the coach has the instinct to cover up his mouth whenever he's talking because he figures the camera's always on him, and a lot of times he's right. It's like it's cracked me up. So at a Little League game last week, I was standing there talking to a friend. Her son is on the team my son is playing, and he comes up to us while we're talking, and she introduces me to him, and he covers up his mouth while he's talking to me, like he's a pitcher with a camera on him. They're just like, you're doing this only because you're seeing other players do this, but it's not even the game. You're not even playing right now. What do you have to? What are you hiding?
Maybe he's 6 foot rule and doesn't want to breathe on you. Something like that.
Good point.
Yeah.
Look how you're taking it from his perspective there too. But so the photo that where McCarthy's play card got all this publicity happened late in third quarter yesterday, and you can't see his face because he has used the play card to cover up his face. It just means that now, the entire country knows all of these play names. 62 post bubble. It's like you're saying, now you just got to decipher it. And I have a feeling there's some people out there, coaches in the NFL that would be able to decipher this. Do they have to change the name of every play and all of the different color codes that go with it? Because they've got plays for high red plus 20 to plus 16, mid red plus 15 to plus 11. I mean, they've got it pretty much color coded all the way in there. And now the Cowboys need to totally change up that whole play card.
That's interesting. You do see when players get traded, they'll ask them about some other things and try to figure out some clues. What was the biggest one?
That's why. Remember the whole thing about, what was it, Trey Lance going to the Cowboys? What is he doing there? He's not even. I don't even think he's dressing this year. He's like, well, what are you doing here? Tell me what they like to do from that team in red and gold.
They had you've seen Aaron Rodgers do it. The John Gruden Oakland Raiders, when he went to Tampa Bay, Then Rich Gannon had stayed behind with that explosive offense. They had a lot of the same. They didn't even change the name of some of their audibles. And when you play divisional opponents, like when you're playing, and you've seen clips and you've seen Peyton Manning talk about it, how we would always give them this signal right here, and they were kind of jumping it, and so we gave them the signal, meaning a double move, and you're kind of you're always trying to get better, and it's you always got to kind of change it up a little bit.
Crush 2/3 Jet, R Rack Y Rap, right next to G Buzzer Fly. It's just great stuff. I wish more coaches would get caught with their play cards on television.
Crush 2/3 could be either Crush 2 or Crush 3, so you can kind of be starting it that way, meaning if you want to shift your protection right or shift your protection left, something like that. Yeah, we had a kick 2, kick 3 thing like that we had, so it's kind of, your Crush 2, kick 2, you kind of see it all coming back.
What's more important if you're the coach? Worried about lip readers or the camera on your play card?
You're worried about your offensive line. You're worried about them picking up and making sure that they know who to block first.
Yeah. Well, now I guess everybody knows. Well, again, it's like it's a whole different language, so it's not like I look at this and I know what I'm looking at. But those who know, they know, and they're looking for that sort of information. They always are. You try to steal signs in baseball, but sometimes what if you? But it's like last year during the TCU regional. There were people that legitimately thought TCU was stealing pitches, or that they were in on Arkansas's pitch comm if they used it, or they knew the signs, or so they just couldn't believe that TCU's batters were that good that weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield, I want to believe this year he came in at halftime at the first game of the year with Tampa Bay, and he's like, I know their signals, So there's Dow Loggins was really good about that when I was at Arkansas. Rhett Lashley was pretty good at that too, and look at both them are coaches, like you kind of figure out what the other team's going to do as well. But that's the right way to go about it. Don't cheat about it. If you can look at their signals and say, hey, we can figure out what they're doing. That's all part of the the unwritten. That's all good. You can't go tape their practice or listen in on the and figure out what pitch they're going to call.
Let me ask you this: if you're lining up at quarterback in the NFL or in college, and the place is going crazy, can you hear a trash can being banged from 50 yards away?
It just depends on where you are. You have a astute ear for your teammates and your brothers and what you've been doing, and you kind of tune other things out. Coach was really good about understanding your quarterback's voice, understanding what's going on, and so I think they're highly trained athletes. I think it's yes.
How did you have to treat your playbook during camp, and did you have to worry about taking that thing with you? Now it's all on iPad, so just don't leave your iPad around. A lot of people end up doing that too. But I've read stories about playbooks getting left behind.
Coach David Lee was pretty funny. He would if you lost your playbook, that was a lap per page per playbook. So don't
big playbooks.
Don't lose your playbook. That's 100% factual. Don't leave. They'll give you a test before every game when you're in the hotel room. They'll give you you'll have a meeting, and a lot of times they'll give you 8 plays, 6 plays, whatever. Hey, draw up this and ask you, what are we doing expecting in these situations? Blah, all this stuff. You're going over everything. Don't leave that in the hotel room. Don't leave that behind. Mm-mm.
Yeah, chances are that the maid is probably a fan of the opponent your opponent.
Yeah,
She's
don't leave
for
that.
stuff.
You got to make sure you turn that in. That's right.
Smart coach has agents inside every hotel. They know the cleanup.
What
staff.
was it the Nebraska Oklahoma game years ago? They left the first 10 and they knew the first 10 plays, and so the coach, their first 3 plays they run just get blown up. And then the coach just scraps it, and they were like, "Yeah, we had your play sheet for the first 10."
It feels like they really knew our plays that day. Well, guess what, Coach?
We did.
They did. Yeah, they really did. With baseball players now, you see them take the the scouting report for a player out of their back pocket. They're told where they can tell where they're supposed to position themselves on a pitch by pitch basis, depending on who's hitting.
Soccer goalies. They have, when you're getting to a free kick, a penalty kick, they kind of know where you want to go. They have your last 20 kicks. They know what side you went to. They know what you do. They pull that out of there. What else do you think they keep in those gloves?
Well, I tell you what, Matt, your playbook today is telling you to get to Joe's Grilling Cantina because it's Taco Tuesday, and you eat more tacos than anybody I know. You'll get $1 crispy beef or chicken taco all day long pork carnita tacos, $2.95 at $3.95 for a brisket or pork belly taco. You won't find a better deal on great tacos anywhere else in Arkansas. Tomorrow's Nacho Average Wednesday, so $1 off all nachos and off all beers. That's Joe's Grill and Cantina, South 74th, across from Harps in Fort Smith. And stay with halftime. Wrap it up after this.
The biggest and best selection of 2023 and 24 Fords is at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. Harry Robinson has a great selection in stock and over 24 new Fords on the way. F-150s, the all-new Broncos, Mach-E Mustangs, and the super popular Ford Maverick. Plus, get financing as low as 0% on a new Ford. And Harry Robinson has never and will never charge over MSRP. The best selection of new Fords is at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
I'd like to talk to you about sandwiches for just a second, specifically the Schlotzsky's Original, the sandwich that since 1971 has been an American favorite. I'd like to talk about the Original's one-of-a-kind, made-from-scratch every morning, spongy, soft sourdough bun. I'd like to talk about the Original's thick stack of select meats, hearty cheeses, crisp veggies, and signature sauce. Why do I want to talk about the Original? Mostly because I'm hungry, and the Schlotzsky's Original is the most delicious sandwich I could think of. Visit one of 5 Schlotzsky's locations in Northwest Arkansas and Fort Smith for the mouth-watering Original. Plus, they cater. Stop in today.
Hey, Hog fans, are you game ready? When you want to show your Hog pride, Alumni Hall is your ultimate shopping experience. The best and largest selection of apparel for the whole family. Nike, Nike Golf, Champion, Columbia, plus gifts, accessories, and all your tailgating necessities. Arkansas students, faculty, and military receive 10% off in-store, and you can earn cash back with Hall Pass rewards. Alumni Hall, located at North College Avenue, or anytime at alumnihall.com. Check out their latest awesome giveaways on social and alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Razorback fans shop.
When it comes to the Wi-Fi in your home, are you in control? Take control with Wave Connect app and get the best Wi-Fi experience. Prioritize your laptop while you work from home or prioritize your streaming devices to enjoy your favorite shows. Get ultimate Wi-Fi from Wave Rural Connect for a better Wi-Fi experience. Control it all with the Wave Connect app. Get it at Google Play, Apple App Store, or waveruralconnect.com.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice, Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is making the middle of the week something to look forward to. Wednesdays is Nacho Average Wednesday. Get $1 off all nachos every Wednesday and try the all-new ballpark-style pork nachos. And draft or bottled beers are $1 off. Every Thursday is Throwback Thursday. Enjoy some of the old Cuco's classic platters, just the way you remember them. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Escape to the lake with G3 boats and Suncatcher pontoons. Huge model in year closeout sale going on now at Auto Finders and Adventure Oklahoma in Roland. Save thousands on 2023 G3 models and Suncatcher pontoons with the largest rebates of the year now through September 30th. There's still time for some fun on the water with Auto Finders and Adventure Oklahoma. View their inventory online at autofindersok.com. Your search ends here. See dealer for rebate details.
Don't miss Hog Reaction this fall, presented by Teague Law Firm and Signature Bank. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Appearances are hazy, so keep the future open. Make no dates, it's all here. load and build it up in the sky. Quicksilver load and build it up in the sky.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Oh, watch out. We can start playing the disrespect card. Arkansas was not picked to win the SEC in the preseason poll. I don't remember if this was the writers or the coaches who did this. A panel of both SEC and national media members. So it's the media members that have chosen Tennessee, number 1, A&M, number 2, and Arkansas and Kentucky rounding out the top 4 predicted preseason finish for men's basketball. Trevin Brazile and Devo Davis both making all SEC preseason teams. Brazile's a first-teamer. Devo is a second-teamer. And there you go, Matt. We can break out the disrespect card automatically, right?
Brazile's an NBA talent. I'm telling you, he reminds me of Kristaps Porzingis. If all you basketball guys know who that guy is, he's a pterodactyl out there. You hope he's healthy. He's a mismatched guy, and he's a baby, man. He's a baby that Missouri here got hurt, hasn't played, needs some more reps, needs to play. So. He's learning as much as he can, as healthy as he can get. And, Phil, I like our guards. I think we're going to be all right in the backcourt. Now, I don't think we have a top 10 pick like an Anthony Black that's going to go to the next level. But we have there's a difference. We have college basketball players that have seen a lot of reps. We have a couple Bo Nixes out there to say. Bo Nix is a great college quarterback. Don't know how much he's going to be. Dylan Gabriel at Oklahoma. College quarterback. Sam Hartman at Notre. We have some guards that can go.
I just enjoy watching, must put the team together on a year-by-year basis.
How fun is that,
There's always different
right?
strengths, different weaknesses, never just one way to play it. It's always interesting with his teams. This is a team that's built in the portal much more than some of the others. Last year, he had a lot of incoming freshmen that, made an impact, and I'm looking forward to it. So, the next couple of days, we can hit basketball quite a bit because you got SEC Media Days.
We have to do this.
The men are tomorrow and the women on Thursday.
We have to make sure we do this, and I'm going to Pittsburgh Pirate you right here because last year we put the cart ahead of the horses.
We did.
Just because they win, they go 14-1 in non-conference. We got to wait till they get to conference play.
So you're saying we're going to take the tack I take, like treat the non-conference schedule like I did the Pirates April.
We got to hold our horses whole, Nelly. We got to hold back a little bit until we get to conference play and get going. Because what did we do last year? We were 16-1 to start the season or something, 14-1 in non-conference play, like going across the country and winning basketball tournaments and preseason games, man.
It's like buying the hype of the football, football 3 or 4 games in. You can see what you see early, but then what happens in the middle and the latter portion of the season that matters a little bit more. I like where you went with that. We're going to Pittsburgh Pirates them. That means you don't believe in them, too. I think you believe in them.
Until Memorial Day. That's right. That's right. That was fun today.
Great stuff today. We'll have Clay Henry tomorrow with us. If you missed anything, Christian has the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast ready to go. Ruskin and Zach are also ready to go. They'll take you up until 7 o'clock, and we'll do this tomorrow. So, for Matt Jones, for Christian Johnston, I'm Phil Elson. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and get up, get out, and get better.
Clogs? Nobody wants